It's Friday, the 6th of September 2024. The week has finally come to an end. I hope that your week has been fruitful. Good morning and welcome to the AM show. My name is Sweetie Abochi and it's my absolute pleasure this morning to steer the wheel and bring you this 4-hour package of riveting conversation, up-to-date information and insights analysis on the various issues going on in and around the country. This morning we'll start by serving you the AM news and then we'll get into our news review segment. And for that, Ishaku Ibrahim, he's a senior lecturer at the UPSA Law School, as well as Nanaya Sapong. He's the political assistant to Alan Shemanting, and Remy Edmondson, the national secretary of the PPP. These three gentlemen will join us to review the news stories captured in the newspapers. Muftan Abdullah will bring you prime take for AM Sports this morning, like he does on Fridays. And then we'll get into our big stories. This morning, we'll engage the elected presidential candidate of the CPP, Nana Frimpomaa Sapong Kumankuma, on what's in it for her party after securing the victory. You don't want to miss that conversation and any of the conversations really coming up this Friday morning on this Friday edition of the AM show. And later, you get to have your say right here on the show. Welcome aboard the AM show, but for now you can follow us and join the conversation with your comments across all social media platforms at Joy News on TV and use the hashtag AM show. Let's get into the news now. This is the AM News. In our first story, the Volta River Authority headquarters in Accra have red bands on fenced walls, trees, main entrances and doors in protest of the proposed merger with Bui Power Authority. The workers have voiced strong opposition to a draft bill proposing a major restructuring of the energy sector, which includes the merger of the VRA with the Bui Power Authority. The bill also seeks to merge the Electricity Company of Ghana with the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, that is NEDCO, while creating a new independent thermal power authority by separating VRA's thermal plants. Workers have expressed their frustration, arguing that the Volta River Authority was established for the people, not to be auctioned off to the highest bidder. The workers say they will hold a series of meetings to determine their next line of action if the proposal is not scrapped. Moving on, parliamentary candidates for the opposition National Democratic Congress in the Futu Constituency, James Kofi Annan, is asking the Electoral Commission to, as a matter of urgency, conduct an audit of the entire 2024 Futu Constituency voters register. He alleges that some 3,009 voters have been transferred onto the register as a blindside of the NDC. James Kofi Annan is also demanding the removal and/or the deletion of all those who have been illegally transferred onto the 2024 Futu Voters Register and a re-exhibition of the 2024 Futu Voters Register.
Official voters transfer exercise was conducted between May 30th and June 14th, 2024. At the end of this exercise, the Electoral Commission recorded a total of 6,218 voters who transferred their vote into the Futu constituency, according to the daily printouts that were given to all parties. A 3-day small-pap voter transfer exercise was conducted for students and security personnel only. This was done between July 3rd and 5th, 2024. And a total of 846 voters were officially transferred onto the Futu register, according to the daily printout that were given to all parties. This brought the total of the official voter transfers to 7,024. This is the highest recorded in the central region. However, upon examination during the voters' exhibition, we have discovered that the total number of voters transferred have jumped to 9,000 897. This means that the Electoral Commission has secretly transferred 3,009 votes onto the register at the blind side of the NDC. We in the NDC are further raising the issue of the Electoral Commission's compliance with the CI that is guiding the 2024 elections. CI 127 requires the Electoral Commission to ensure that a person transferring a vote into a constituency is an ordinary resident of the constituency for not less than 12 months. We have, however, discovered that over 70% of all the transfers done by the Futu Constituency Electoral Commission into the register were done without any basis. This, we believe, is illegal and a mere importation of voters into the constituency. There is also an unresolved issue of the alleged 126 military officers who were reported to have been illegally transferred onto the Futu Constituency register, which the NDC Central Regional Chairman raised a few months ago. We are concerned that apart from the potential illegalities in their transfers, they might have been transferred onto the constituency for ulterior motives. We have also maintained that the Electoral Commission has been manipulating the Futu Constituency electoral system in favor of the MPP. In the year 2020, the Futu register was bloated by an estimated 20,000 voters. Almost all illegal voters are still in the Futu register. We are not going to sit down for additional voters to be transferred illegally onto the Futu Constituency voter register. We want to state that the total population of the Futu Constituency is just around 107,000. The population of Gomwa East is over 308,000 and more urban and closer to Accra. The population of the Ewutu Senya East is just around 236,000.
Away from that, the Great Convention People's Party has selected Dr. Daniel August Latte Jr. as its flag bearer for the December polls. This will be the fourth time Dr. Latte will be leading the party into a presidential election, having previously contested in the 2000, 2004 and 2008 polls. Here's Stephen Mensah with the rest of the story.
As Ghana approaches the December 7 elections, it is clear that this is not just another political contest between the current Vice President and flag bearer of the MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and former President John Dramani Mahama, representing the NDC. Dr. Daniel Latte Jr., the newly unveiled flag bearer of the Great Convention People's Party, has called for an independent audit of the electoral register, citing it as a crucial step towards ensuring a credible election.
The Electoral Commission, I implore you to ensure that this election is conducted in a fair, transparency, and integrity. The future of our democracy depends on your commitment to those principles. Together, we can overcome these obstacles and build a Ghana where every child has access to education. Every family can afford health care. And every individual has the opportunity to succeed.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the party slammed the government for its blatant hypocrisy in tackling illegal mining, accusing them of paying lip service to the crisis whilst allowing the destruction to continue unabated. He demanded that the president takes immediate action.
If you see our water bodies, it makes me sad. What are we leaving for those behind us? What is our commitment to this fight against Galamsey? This is not a time to do name calling. I'm not here to mention names. We know. We know those who are involved. But why are we doing this to ourselves? The water we drink, we don't even know where it's coming from. Now Ghana Water is complaining. They are all shutting down their machines. And it turns back to be an added cost to all of us. Is it not sad that we see when you are traveling, those traveling from Kumasi, when you get to Konongo, in fact, it is just by the roadside. It's not far from you. Why are we doing this to ourselves? And we pretend we are fighting against Galamsey. And because we've made it a partisan fight, the current government fears to fight it fiercely because opposition is ready to take advantage to say, oh, when we come, we will do this. So everybody is paying lip service to the fight against Galamsey.
The unveiling ceremony, which marked the 7th National Delegates Congress of the party, was a rallying cry for action. Dr. Latte Jr. and the GCPP are calling for transparency, accountability, and bold leadership to address Ghana's pressing issues.
In other stories, Deputy Executive Director of Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, Daniel Banoku, has called for desegregation and proper targeting of farmers affected by the long dry spell in the country. He noted that there is a vast difference between small-scale farmers and large-scale farmers and that they are not the same, adding the risk of the drought experienced by the two categories of the farmers are also not the same. He warned that the relief support announced by the government should not be an avenue for the money to end in wrong hands. Daniel Banoku made this statement at a press conference in Wa, from where Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam announced last week that government has allocated 8 billion Ghana cedis to provide relief and some mitigative measures for the farmers affected by the dry spell. He, however, considered that the response may not entirely neutralize the extent of the problem, but will certainly help in stabilizing the situation until the country gets out of the crisis. Though government is yet to redeem its pledge, red flags has already been raised from the civil society front regarding the mode of distribution. Speaking at a press conference in Wa, Deputy Executive Director of Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, CICOD, Daniel Banoku, warned that it should not be an avenue for them to share their monies to persons who are not affected by the drought.
There are large-scale farmers, there are small-scale farmers. The risk of the drought and how they experience them differently are not the same. Large-scale farmers, for example, might be able to have insurance on their farms. And so because of this situation, they are able to go to their insurance company and say, pay a compensation for the drought. And therefore, the amount of attention that they would require from this government subvention or support will not be the same as a smallholder farmer who has invested all of his property for the season in producing 1 acre. So targeting, we think, must really be done very well to ensure that we don't end up bringing increasing inequalities and ensuring that those who are already well-to-do get a chunk of the money, while smallholder farmers who are really severely impacted do not have access to anything, and maybe they do not have connections. For the large-scale farmer, the drought is a business gone wrong. For the small-scale holder, the drought is a lifetime situation that is gone wrong. And the way we approach each of them is going to be different.
Daniel Banoku made the following recommendations, which he thinks will be fair, equitable, and transparent for the people.
This kind of the support must work through the district directors of agriculture and the district assemblies, through the agriculture extension agents who live and work with the farmers in the communities, to be the point where they should begin to raise who are the people. The AES are the best people to tell how many farmers are impacted within his area and what is the severity of the impact on each of them, and therefore determine a kind of a compensation package that will be fair, equitable, and transparent to all of us. And so if the ministry and government is sincerely interested in addressing the real impacted in this drought, this for us would be one of the approaches. There could be many, but this would be one of the approaches that can ensure proper targeting and ensure efficiency in the distribution of the resources and ensure that there is equity in the use of public funds in augmenting the situation that we find ourselves in.
Senior lecturer at the Simon Diodon University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, Professor Samuel Bonya, sees the plan of the government to dole out relief to victims of the drought as treating the symptoms of the drought rather than the cost.
You would find that many assistance programs, in fact, result in increased vulnerability to future drought events by making individuals even more reliant on government programs and assistance from donor organizations. Because of the long-term socioeconomic and environmental impact of drought, droughts are far the most damaging of all natural disasters.
Reporting for Dway News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
The United Nations Specialized Agency focused on tourism, United Nations World Tourism Organization, says that despite the growth in tourism across Africa, connectivity, the ease with which people can travel between locations remain a big challenge. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 7th edition of the 2024 Africa Leadership Tourism Forum, the UN Tourism Regional Director for Africa, Elsia Groundcourt, stated that her organization is working with all stakeholders to simplify visa entry requirements for travel within Africa and leverage innovative systems to digitalize visa procedures and advocate for a single unified air transport market. Maxwell Agbagba was at that forum in Botswana and our reports.
The Africa Tourism Leadership Forum, ALTF, is a key Pan-African platform that brings together leaders from Africa's travel, tourism, hospitality, and aviation sectors. It focuses on sharing insights, developing strategies to boost intra-African travel, and fostering network opportunities. The forum also aims to strengthen the global brand of Destination Africa and promote tourism growth across the continent. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 7th edition in Botswana, the Vice President of Botswana, Slamba Chogwani, said the country is investing a lot of resources to develop its tourism sector, touting the country's beef as the best in the world.
Tourism in Botswana is a major contributor to the national economy and has tremendous potential to grow. It is for this reason that Botswana government has reviewed its tourism policy and also developed the national tourism strategy and master plan to provide relevant frameworks for developing the sector.
Chief Executive Officer of the Africa Tourism Partners, organizers of the event, Kwachi Donko, reaffirmed the commitment of ATP to helping African nations unlock their tourism potential.
We had a program for youth called the Youth in Tourism Innovation Summit and Challenge, which has been going on for the past 6 years. And all the time, the top 3 winners are announced in Botswana. Technology, Cape Peninsula University of Technology, Strathmore University of Kenya, University Business School of Ghana, and United Nations World Tourism Organization, Ministry of Tourism Namibia, are responsible for tourism. We will be launching the Africa Tourism Innovation Hub in Cape Town the 16th of this month. And once again, we are very grateful to Botswana for that.
The UN Tourism Regional Director for Africa, Elsia Groundcourt, stated that her organization is collaborating with stakeholders to simplify travel across Africa, which will boost tourism continent-wide.
Dear friends, despite the growth, challenges remain. Connectivity has been identified as a key issue that needs to be addressed to fully unleash Africa's tourism potential. And this recently, my dear friends, was reiterated by the Ministers of Tourism as they met at the 67th Regional Commission for Africa.
Estimated 334,000 Ghanaians living with HIV, only 65% know their status. Of those, just 69% are on treatment, resulting in a viral suppression rate of 89%. As of December 2023, an estimated 12,400 persons died of HIV/AIDS in Ghana. This data was shared by the Program Manager of the National AIDS Control Program, Dr. Ayisi Ado, at a 3-day workshop in Koforidua in the Eastern region, making a start of the Global Fund's Grant Cycle 7 on HIV self-testing projects. Carlos Kaloni reports.
As the Global Fund Grant Cycle 7 GC7 on HIV self-testing project implementation kicks off for the next 3 years, over 150 participants from 50 NGOs within the Ghana HIV and AIDS Network, Garnet, have been equipped with vital skills to combat the HIV epidemic and achieve the 2030 goals of 95-95-95. Highlighting progress towards these UN global targets, National AIDS Control Program Manager Dr. Ayisi Ado noted Ghana needs to do more in the area of testing, revealing that only 65% of the estimated 334,000 people living with HIV in the country are aware of their status.
As a country, we've agreed to end the epidemic by 2030. And to do that, we must have very low new infections. The deaths at any given point in time must be very, very low. And as we speak, Ghana is recording about 12,000 deaths. As of last year, December, estimated deaths due to HIV, it was 12,400.
Garnet President and Acting Chairman of the Global Fund's Country Coordinating Mechanism, NS Amwabi Otten, announced that the 2024 self-testing initiative is sponsored by the Global Fund is focused on reaching 75% of men and 25% of women.
For this year's implementation, we are mostly targeting men because we have observed that men, our health-seeking behavior is quite poor. So once we are going to the community, we are mostly targeting men for this particular implementation. We want to test at least about 75% of the time. Men will be our target and 25%.
The NGOs in health have been urged to create more demand for HIV self-testing in their host communities to help government attain the 95-95-95 target. For Joy News, Carlos Kaloni, Koforidua.
The Director General of the National Council for Curriculum Assessment, Professor Yayura Jakeji, has asserted that teachers have a crucial role in positioning Ghana for the fourth industrial revolution. He therefore entreated colleges of education to train teachers to be technologically inclined to enable them to produce a workforce that would have expertise for the revolution. He was speaking at the 16th graduation of the Evangelical Presbyterian College of Education in Amejope in the whole West District of the Volta region.
The 16th congregation of the Evangelical Presbyterian College of Education saw the graduation of 195 pioneering students of the Bachelor of Education program. 10 of the graduates were awarded first class, 148 had second class upper, while 37 had second class lower. The year recorded no third class and pass. The college principal, Dr. Dixon Chair, said they achieved such a great feat while grappling with infrastructural deficits. The college lacks an auditorium, administration block, staff accommodation, lecture halls, among others.
Reverend Chairman, while we celebrate our achievements, it is also important to acknowledge the challenges that we face as a college that needs urgent attention. Some of these are as follows: lack of auditorium. The stalled 300 capacity hostel project, the abandoned Get Fund project for the female students. We are at this moment once again appealing to government.
The Director General of the National Council for Curriculum Assessment, Professor Yaya Jakajie, chronicled how Ghana missed out on the first, second, and third industrial revolutions and underscored the need for a paradigm shift.
Breaking the status quo begins with rethinking the very foundations of teacher education. We must move beyond the traditional lecture halls and embrace new and innovative approaches that reflect the realities of today's classroom. Teacher education programs must incorporate technology not as afterthoughts, but as a core component of the curriculum.
Tagbe Ajanye of Ziavi entreated the graduates to take their destiny into their hands. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Amegape.
Economist Professor John Gachi has advised government to be cautious about strategies to stabilize the cedi, control borrowing, and manage the economy well to avoid paying high interest on debt. According to him, despite the conclusion of the debt exchange program, there must be a conscious effort to contain the interest payments in order not to derail the gains made after the domestic debt exchange program. Reacting to a report by the Bank of Ghana, which showed that the total amount of interest paid by governments for the first 5 months of this year witnessed some significant increase, Prof. Gachi said managers of the economy must focus on achieving debt sustainability going forward.
The domestic debt exchange program does not mean that the government is still not borrowing. So, if you borrow, you need to pay interest. And again, if you are paying interest on debts which are denominated in the dollar, depreciation will affect the service of that debt. So that is the explanation I will give to them.
Fair enough.
So,
go ahead.
If we manage our economy well and the cedi is stable, and then we control the borrowing, then we also accommodate the interest payments that we make. Well, what it means is that by the debt exchange program, we will resume especially the repayment of interest component of the external debt soon. By the close of the year, we are likely to pay close to about 500 million. That will be added to the repayment of debt for the year. And going forward, we are going to resume full repayment of the restructured external debt, and which means that the interest component or the repayment package will go up.
The Association of Ghana Industries has asked governments to show more commitment by supporting local manufacturing firms to enhance their production capacity to boost the economy. They contend most of the local companies have the capacity to produce to meet demand, hence the need for a deliberate effort to cushion local businesses. Speaking to Joy Business, Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Chonam Akpelu, stated that there must be a conscious effort to whip up the taste for locally produced items to strengthen the cedi.
The economy needs to be stabilized. I mean, what we want to do is to sit in our boardroom and make decisions, annual decisions, quarter decisions, half-year decisions, and knowing that our currency will be stabilized. Because as you speak, if you make decisions for 6 months, by the time you get to December, you are unable to control if the currency will remain stable. And so it's difficult to make boardroom decisions affecting your purchasing and supply and affecting your importation of raw materials. So that one thing that should happen is that we want the economy to be stabilized. Number two is that the raw materials that can be produced locally should be encouraged. For example, agri products. We have a lot of arable lands that should be used for farming, consistent farming. Why are we importing vegetables from abroad just to supply to the hotels? Why is that happening? Why don't we produce vegetables locally? Why are we buying chicken from abroad? Why are we importing chicken? Why are we importing rice? So I'm saying that we have to quickly be able to produce most of these things that we can produce locally. At the same time, we need to encourage consumption of goods that are produced locally as well, because some of the AGI members have capacity to produce locally to supply to the entire country. The challenge is that a lot of our people have developed taste for consumption of foreign goods, and that's also part of the challenge. So then we continually importing products that are already here and that are manufactured here. So our proposal is to ensure that we consume what is produced locally so that we can have more money staying in our economy as opposed to having to go and buy dollars in order to import.
And that's all for our business updates in this bulletin. So it's a wrap for the AM News Bulletin on the AM Show. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com and get yourself updated and well informed. There's a lot more coming your way, starting with the news review segment. Ishaku Ibrahim, a senior lecturer at the UPSA Law School, Nanaya Sapong, political assistant to Alan Chermanting, and Remy Edmondson, the national secretary of the PPP, are joining us for a conversation from the newspapers. Stay with us. Let's review the newspapers. Welcome aboard. This is the news review segment on the AM Show. My guest in the studio, Ishaku Ibrahim, senior lecturer at the UPSA Law School, Nanaya Sapong, political assistant to Alan Chermanting, and Remy Edmondson, national secretary of the PPP. Three gallant gentlemen in the studio with me. You're welcome to the AM Show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Nanaya, it's been a while we saw you here.
Yes, and
busy with campaign activities?
I was going around the country. You know, we've had some rumors, and so we want to work and not leave any stone unturned.
So let's start from there then. Give us what's on top of your mind this morning.
Our leadership has really disappointed us. Trust me. Driving through the length and breadth of this country in the past 2 to 3 weeks on road, from using the famous Fufoso Solar Road, to using the main stretch on the Damango, through to the OT regions and the Volta regions. Leadership has really disappointed us.
Okay.
I wonder if they have stopped using the roads.
What did you see?
The roads are so bad, so very bad. Yet we hear ministers say that they've constructed a lot of roads than even the days of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Well, I'll show you some videos of some of the roads I used.
Okay.
They are so deplorable.
Okay.
Ghanaians, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to tell the truth to the face of leadership in December. We have a responsibility to take our lives into our own hands and the future into our own hands. I did not use the airlines. And if you're driving and you see also how damaged and destroyed our water bodies have become. Sitting in Accra, sitting on national television and saying it, you will not actually, you might not be able to tell the story as it is until you have seen the water bodies.
Okay.
It is so much destroyed, sweetie. It is so much destroyed.
I'm sure it will come up in the course of discussion. So let me go around for the initial takes, and then I'll come back to you. But I just wanted to chip in that, I mean, they are in fact building some new roads. Maybe we are not doing well maintaining the old ones, and that's why it's deteriorating to that level.
If we actually ensure that our contractors and engineers do the right
quality of work, yeah.
You know, Fufu Solar like that has been, that's the Eastern Corridor Road I'm talking about. It's been on our budget for so many years. Only for, I think it was the NDC, they said they had done it. And today, how many years down the line?
Right.
In less than 10 years.
Okay, hold for me. Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, what is in my mind today, I think today is an important day for many of our final year law students across the country. But today is the day that they are taking the Makola entrance exam to proceed to become professional lawyers. So I just want to wish all the candidates good luck, especially final year students of the University of Professional Studies, where I teach. And I was also privileged to be one of the lecturers who were preparing some of them for the entrance exam.
Okay.
Just want to aid them to relax. I mean, the exam sometimes is not very difficult. The difficulty is to panic and stress yourself so much and overthink. So I just want to ask them to relax. And by 12 o'clock, if you relax, your paper is handed over to you. You just relax, I think you'll get it through. So don't overthink, don't overreact.
Just relax.
Yes, just relax.
Okay, I hope they actually take a cue from them, relax. I don't know how relaxed
I was just
going
about to
into
ask,
the examination
relax
hall.
how?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, it's a good thing to encourage them to relax.
Yeah,
your teacher is
relax.
saying relax, so please relax. Remy,
yes,
your take now.
Yes, so December 7th elections is coming up. And to my people of Domi-Kwabena elections, just to inform you that I'll be filing my candidacy for the parliamentary elections.
Okay.
For the Domi-Kwabena constituency next week, when the EC will open nominations from 9th to 13th of September. So I also
Why? Why do you want to
Yes, so
file and become
yes, so
member of
in the coming
parliament?
weeks, some of the issues we'll be driving and then discussing with the electorate is primarily one of them is want to create awareness about the influx of campaign financing, political campaign financing. This is a subject I've been here, we've talked about it, we've discussed it on various fora, and yet it's just mouth talk. Now, we all complain about corruption, and yet nobody really questions the source of funding for politicians, including myself. So it's important for us to ensure that we amend the Political Financing Act and ensure that there's proper transparency. We need to know where we are taking our money from, who is funding our source of campaign, how we are spending the money, so that at the end of the day, we can properly quantify how much we are really spending on our political campaigns. Because if Sweetie gives me $100,000 and I come and take it from your house, or you bring it to my house, if I win, I'm going to do your bidding. If my senior lecturer, Ishak, also gives me some 50,000 CDs, and nobody knows about it, one day he comes and says, look, Remy, help me get this contract, do this for me, I'll be obliged.
Because your hands are tied, you think?
Then also, we want to throw light on the fact that, look, it's time that Ghanaians really stop voting on partisan lines. Because once you stick to a particular, let's ask ourselves, how many times do we really follow our MPs to see what the issues they vote about?
But you're going to be contesting on the tickets of a political party.
Yes, but I'm talking about
PPP.
I'm talking about, yes, but I'm talking about the it's about the issues. Often we find our parliamentarians voting in block. That's what I'm talking about. But do they really vote based on the issues that affect their people? And how well do they interact with the people they say, okay, tell them, okay, this area, these are your issues. I'm going to Parliament. I'm going to probably lay this bill. I'm going to probably fight against this bill to ensure that it will be in your interest. But we find MPs voting in block. The party A says this, and we told that line. Recently, just
right.
Let me just touch on the. I've forgotten his name. I don't know if it's the one who was part of the Ken Must Go agitation in Parliament. He lost his seat.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was the MP for Subin, but
that's Subin.
Yes, Subin. In his
interview,
yeah, I'm listening.
he indicated that sometimes
Collins.
Yes, said that sometimes your party, yes, said that sometimes your party can actually come against you if you refuse to toe the line.
Okay.
Everywhere in the
So-
world, not just Ghana.
Yeah.
But then that is what we should
That's
do.
why-
But then
That is what the whips are
and
for.
that is yes,
When you hear the
then
chief whip,
but it is the people
that's
who
it.
voted.
To
It's
whip
the
you
people
into
who
line.
voted.
Yeah.
It's the citizens who voted you to be there.
But it's not
to go
alien
and
to
then do
politics.
their.
Remy,
You know what I'm saying?
what I
That-
want to ask you
Yes.
is, do you think you've done something notable in that constituency that would, earn you the support you're looking for?
We have been engaging the people. I started this in 2014.
Oh, so it's not just
yes,
a decision you just took.
contesting some elections for the past 10 years. So
All right.
we've been working.
All right, let's review the newspapers.
Oh, have you got
So
one?
let me start from the Daily Graphic.
Okay.
Nana Akosua Kumankuma, new CPP flag bearer. That election was held yesterday. Congratulations to her. Baumia will transform economy according to the NPP. 3 electrochem mining leases need no review. Parliamentary committee recommends. Political parties urged to promote peace towards December polls. I'm going to have to start from Nana Akosua Kumankuma, the new CPP flag bearer. I like to see that women are also leading the charge and giving the men a run for their money. The Convention People's Party has elected a former national chairperson of the party, Nana Akosua Frimpomaa Sapong Kumankuma, as flag bearer for the 2024 general election. And she polled in 759 votes to clinch the position following a decentralized congress held across the regional capitals last Wednesday. Gentlemen, what do you think about Nana Akosua Kumankuma's candidacy to be president of this country? I'll start with you, Nana Sapong.
Yes.
And because of time, let's make our submissions brief. And
She happens to be my namesake, Sapong Kumankuma.
Okay.
First of all, I agree with you. It's time that we encourage our women who are in politics to push forward into picking up higher positions and greater responsibilities. And I believe that she's coming on board with vast experience, having been the national chairperson for the CPP. It's unfortunate how their national congress ended up. In fact, the other gentleman refused to actually congratulate her because of certain things that had happened. But of course, she's now their candidate. She's welcome on board. Congratulations to her. And she should come and join the table of issues and not to start to throw out political insinuations and insults, as we see the duo, that's the NPP and the NDC doing. I believe that 2024 elections should be based on issues.
Okay.
We should be dealing with issues that would see to the improvement of the living standards of Ghanaians and to see that Ghanaians are indeed living a prosperous life.
I'm sure she'll be rolling out her plans.
As a woman,
Yeah.
Everyone will be looking up to her to see what she's bringing up on board.
Right.
As a woman, all eyes will be on her to see the impact she's going to make. I know the CPP is quite weak, but at least she would add some.
Nana, did you say the CPP is weak?
I said the CPP is quite weak.
Okay.
I didn't say.
And where are you inferring that? What are you inferring that from?
For that matter, I think that.
No, I want clarity. I want clarity on what is
greater
informing that assertion.
She has a greater responsibility.
You can't just let it go. You said the CPP is quite weak, Nana Sapong.
Yes. You and I agree, and you and I know.
I don't agree. So I'm asking for clarity.
Well,
how would you feel if someone said that the Alliance for Revolutionary Change or the movements for change is quite weak?
We have not contested it.
And it's not agreeing to back it with facts.
We've not contested in any national elections. This is our first time as an alliance. The CPP has been part of Ghana's politics since the days of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, looking at the trends and how it has performed and how it has come. Looking at how much they have allowed the NPP and the NDC to actually destabilize their base, all right, moving away from the center. I think that she has a greater responsibility, and she has a lot of work to do. Trying to put the base together and trying to push them into becoming a united force.
So do all the other political parties. They have a lot of work to do. But hold on for me a second.
Okay.
Let me come to Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes.
Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, first of all, congratulations to her. I think she has done well for herself. Yes, I think, as you said, since independence, this is a major achievement for a political party to have made her their flag bearer. Even though, as we saw on TV, the opponent refuses to congratulate her, which I think is not good for our democracy. Having said that, I would like to use the opportunity to actually congratulate the MPP for finally getting the affirmative action done. Because affirmative action is very, very, very important for us as a country. And then her election as a flag bearer reaffirmed that the future of Ghana will move into the future that would show that both men and women would have an equal shot.
This isn't the first time we're seeing a woman in a race to the Jubilee House.
Yeah. The
there was, the PPP, there was Bridget Jogoduku.
Yes, but nevertheless,
last election year.
It's a reinforcement that affirmative action, we are taking it very, very seriously.
Are we? Because it's not been assented yet. It's been passed by Parliament, but the President has yet to...
For some reason, we are actually doing it. As a law lecturer, I can tell you that 70 to 75% of our students are female. In fact, very soon we may have to make laws to protect men when it comes to law schools. So women are actually...
Oh, look at the men coming for us now.
Yes, yes.
Gentlemen, calm down. Calm down.
Yes, but then affirmative action...
You need no protection from women.
If anything, we are... I mean, some places. Look, affirmative action doesn't mean that they are going to just promote women. When you look at it, it takes its foundation from CEDA, Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women.
Right.
It called for introducing temporary special measures to favor women, just in the recognition of historical injustices that has been done to women.
Yeah.
So when it comes to law school, that they are now taking about 75% of the recent students' population, then it will get to a point that we said, well, we don't need temporary special measures here. Perhaps men might need them so that it will be 50-50.
So till we reach there, men need no protection. I think the goal is gender parity.
I mean, in some places.
Let's work towards there first, and then you can come in and tell us how we should protect you.
You know, surprisingly, as he said, if you even go to the professional bodies, the chartered accountants and all that, the law schools, the women are more than the 60% now.
Yes, sir.
And I was actually, if you look into the GTP, they have... Ireland is allocated 60% of positions for the young and women. And I was wondering, we are the men.
What position has it allocated?
No, yeah, of course, when he comes into power, all the appointments.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Remy, what? Let me take your submission.
Yes, the Progressive People's Party congratulates Nanaya Frimpomaa on her election as a flag bearer.
You think she's going to give you a run for your money?
No.
For the PPP,
Not at all. And I'll tell you why. I mean, it's quite unfortunate that her tenure as chairperson for the CPP since she was elected in 2020 was marked by a multitude of court cases. And this actually robbed the CPP of the opportunity to fully participate in the political dialogue and then inform Ghanaians about some of their policy positions over the years. But nevertheless, I see this as a fresh start for not only Nanaya Frimpomaa herself, but the CPP itself as a political party. And it's also an opportunity for her to rally. Like my colleagues are saying, yes, it appears the elections didn't go too well, but then much depends on her to now reach out to all the other factions who may not be too happy with how things went, and then rally everybody on board to support this campaign. I mean, at the end of the day, the CPP may not win, but then their policy proposals, their manifestos may, sometimes it's a fact that the MPP, NDC, eventually when they win, they take some of the ideas that we, the alternate parties, put up. And for us, we don't have any complaints about it because we are interested in seeing that the country is governed properly. So if they appropriate it and use it, it's still a plus for us. Okay. And then also, let me also congratulate the GCPP also had their Congress yesterday. Yes. So I also want to congratulate them. They elected
Dr. Latte, again as their flag bearer, and congratulations to Citizen Dazi, my friend, the General Secretary of the GCP, for retaining his position as well.
There's a very interesting read here. I want to get into it. No food sells below 5 Ghana cedis, even corn. And this is still the daily graphic. In Ghana today, nothing you eat sells below 5 Ghana cedis, including roasted plantain, boiled and roasted maize, avocado, even coconut. Coconuts used to be a delicacy, a refreshing treat that you buy for 50 pesos, 1 cedi 50 pesos, went all the way to 2 cedis, and we thought, oh, that's a bit much. We are buying that for 6 cedis now.
Minimum, yeah.
And it says, in criminality and dishonest dog eats dog depravity, we have arrived at that point in our existence when something should have rocked us into change, as happened in 1979 when Rawlings struck. He became an instant hero because at his treason trial in 1978, the prosecution turned the accused defense into a manifesto. It was a play. We know the story of what happened. But how does it sit with you that as we sit here today, nothing you eat in this country sells below or sells at 5 Ghana cedis? Not even coconut. It wasn't mentioned here, but that's the first, because there's coconut right at the junction. And it's for 6 cedis.
Yeah, that's for the small. Is 6 cedis. That's for the small size.
And you know what I remember, what this brings to mind? That time when there was that currency, that change, there is no change in value, the value. I think that was the beginning of our woes, you know. When the Bank of Ghana changed our currency, when we used to have 5,000 become 50 pesos or 5 cedi, I think, and they told us the value is the same, but I think that was the beginning of this downward slope that we experienced.
But indeed,
was it?
It was. I mean, look at the amount of money you were going to carry around.
No, but
so is it about carrying the money? Nigerians still have that level of denomination.
That wasn't the beginning of our woes.
Well, right now the economy is
in my view, I do not think it was the begining of our woes.
No, what did you say?
That I do not think, in my opinion, that economically that was the beginning of our woes. No.
I'll hear your argument.
I believe that at the time, if we had been able, beyond that moment, if we had been able to manage the economy well, and had been able to block and dealt with the issues of corruption and dealt with the issues of wastage, we would not be where we are today. If we had been able to deal with the issues of agricultural production and manufacturing and adding value to the raw materials we have, if we had been able to indeed concentrate on export, all right, when bringing in a lot of inflows, we will not be where we are today.
Okay.
I mean, what do we see? You understand? What do we see today? So much of corruption. In Kufuor's time, if corruption was in thousands, yeah, if the wastage was in thousands, and we complained and we pushed him out, and we came into the John Mahama Atamil.
We composed songs to push Kufuor out.
Yes.
This is a Friday morning.
No, of course.
You remember?
The NPP.
No, do you guys remember that song?
No, you said Kufuor.
We thought it was the
of course.
West
I mean, that was
times.
the NPP. That was in 2008.
Yes.
Under Kufuor's tenure.
All right? And that was when
only
we had
for us to come and see 2024.
economic crunch. You understand?
Yeah.
Now we move in, then we spoke about corruption. And then comes Atamil's John Mahama, friends and family, all right? Jida, and confirm we push them out. Then we bring in the man who says he's able to arrest the dollar. And the man who says that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. And we find ourselves with a man who is indeed a lawyer and has been fighting against corruption, as he says, and fights against human rights, whatever it is. In his tenure, we are not able to control the exchange, the forex. In his tenure, corruption, I do not want. You see, sometimes you are careful.
No, the president, in his defense, the president says it's not that he's not aware about the incidents of corruption or the allegations of corruption. It's a due process to, prosecute those involved. So he's waiting for evidence. It has to take due process. So we cannot say that he's overlooking the incidents of corruption that is
in waiting
happening
for
in
due
the country.
process.
Yeah.
I believe that the president and now the acting president, Alhaji, should be able to at least tell Ghanaians the pragmatic and practical policy solutions that they intend to put or they are putting in place in dealing with the issue of corruption.
But they have.
Ghanaians have
in their manifestos.
Which manifesto?
To lead is to solve. They've outlined how they intend.
And that is why we are saying that everything we are going through today is as a result of bad leadership.
Land on that point for me.
It's as a result of leadership that has lost focus.
So it's failed leadership. That's our problem.
Okay.
Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, I'll take off from where he started. I think as politicians, we need to be honest with us. I'll tie that to what you have just said. It is very true that prices of items have increased. But can we pin it down to just corruption? Let's look at what is happening elsewhere, not just Ghana. Very recently, the U.S. Democratic candidate made a statement when she was chosen as a flag bearer. She said there was something called global cost of living crisis, whereby almost every country was affected. And she said that the United States was particularly affected. And if she becomes president, this is where she was going to start. So that tells us that Ghana is not alone. Even the United States is affected. I have visited Britain last year on few occasions, this year at least twice. For the first time, I've seen students at SOAS, UCL, London School of Economics, queue for food. Because food around that area, and I have school around that area, has become so expensive that they were not able to afford it. That was zone 1. Some of them have to even travel to zone 4, zone 5, to get food at cheaper prices. There are food banks in the United Kingdom as we talk that is helping provide food for less privileged families. So we need to recognize that and accept it in that context. And then there was recently
in accepting
a
it,
lecture.
you cannot compare. You just said that there are food banks.
There was, yes,
in
there
this
was
country.
Food banks.
After our leaders have impoverished us, what are the systems
so it's
that
not, no, the point I'm trying
us?
to make is that if we are making these points, we have to make it in that context that Ghana is not in isolation. That the global cost of living is affecting almost every country, including the advanced countries. And I like the point he's making, but then some of the point is insincere. You see, you cannot remove yourself from the MPP. You were with them until last year. For you to talk like you were never part of it, the MPP blame is a blame for movement for change.
Nobody.
You understand
nobody
that?
has said
So
that.
the way you do it, it's not good. It doesn't show sincerity in politics. I agree with you.
So he said it's failed leadership. And you are saying that, yes, failed leadership, but he was part of that
I didn't agree it's failed leadership. I said there is something called global cost of living crisis.
No, I'm saying
that is driving food inflation across the world. And Ghana is part of the global village.
No, I
understand that?
In a point.
And in terms of corruption, as you just said, you've made your point. Let me come.
But you brought me in.
Okay, let me.
I'll give you the chance after to respond. I'll give you the chance to respond. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying, the point I was just making is that we need to be sincere. As you said, they have given us their manifestos. Some of them, as you mentioned, I'm bringing corruption because we are moving from global cost of living crisis to the corruption aspect. As you said, they have tried to deal with it. The MPP have presented what they call the proactive measures. They don't want to wait till corruption even occurs. There are proactive measures that they want to take to stop corruption in the first place. And one of them they have presented is the Ghana card and what they really intend to do with it, to make sure that the human contact with state institutions that will lead to corruption in the first place is minimized. So I believe that if those proactive measures is implemented, it will minimize it. It can never stop corruption. No country in the world have succeeded in stopping corruption. So if there are evidence of corruption, we have state institutions such as EOCO, special prosecutor, and that of Shiraj.
Okay.
Citizens should actually report to them, and they then do thorough investigations.
Okay.
By saying that the president is a lawyer, and he has to do, as Shiraj just said, he has to follow due process. If you rush to court prematurely as a lawyer, you will lose a case.
I have to put this to you.
Okay.
If you had to choose, if you had to make an assessment
Yes.
between, excuse me, a strong political will
Yes.
to fight corruption
Yes.
and the removal of the human interface in our systems and institutions,
Yes.
which do you think would give us the result we want? Even on the back that you said we cannot really remove corruption ever, I mean completely.
No country has
But
succeeded.
which would help us?
I think
knowing
both-
how corruption has
I think-
plunged us into debt.
Yes. I think they are not mutually exclusive.
Okay.
You have to use the two. You will have to use the institution to deter, and then use the proactive measures to prevent. So if you do not deter, and then I believe in that regard, establishing the office of the special prosecutor was a good idea. Even though he has expressed frustrations, of which I know, I understand him, because he's dealing with human institutions. Corruption by its nature is difficult to fight.
Okay, let me throw that to Remy.
Yes, sweetie. So.
And we started from how we cannot buy anything.
I mean, you know these issues.
Just a second.
Yeah, this is also
You've been quiet for a while. So.
Yeah, so it's quite unfortunate. I think between 2017 to 2021, Finance Minister told Parliament that we have spent about 2.47 billion cedis on the planting for food and jobs. Between then and now, much more has been spent, and even we are in the phase 2 of the PFJ program. I mean, these programs on paper sound very fantastic, and I mean, I always say that being in opposition doesn't mean you should always oppose all of government policies. Where it's good for the people, you love the government. But unfortunately, the implementation was also something else altogether. We then went to our One Village, One Dam project also, spearheaded by the ministry. Again, independent checks after we spent so much money on these exercise indicated that most of these were just not fit for purpose and have dried up. Now, we are in a situation where parts of the northern region are facing severe droughts. And again, we are voting money, allocating budgetary money that could have been used elsewhere to fix this. If the purpose of, I mean, we know very well that our weather is seasonal, farming is seasonal, and so the purpose of this dam initiative was to have helped check some of this so that farmers could be able to farm most of the time, not have to rely on the weather. Yes, so these are some of the challenges that it's a failure of this ruling government, wasting money.
Just this ruling government?
Well, they are in power. We are talking about now.
Okay.
Yes, like I was saying, the coconut, yes, you know, let me just chip in that coconut is one thing I wish every Ghanaian should be able to afford because of its immense nutrition and health benefits. Yes, but
6 cedis. If you don't have 6 cedis,
yes,
you can't buy coconut.
And that 6 cedis is for the small one. The bigger ones are going for maybe 8 or more. You understand? Then also, as my brother touched on, that yes, this was something that the government promised us. Then opposition MPP that they were going to work to cut down on the excess importation that we're going through. It's been almost 8 years in power, and we still import much of our food. Having to still, which is the dollar, as we know, has broken jail, it's already run away. The keys have been taken from the IGP, and it has escaped.
We've not been able to arrest it.
No.
Okay, please.
So you see, these are the real issues that we are facing, and the government has failed woefully to really tackle these issues. And if so long as we are importing most, before I came in, you were interviewing the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the AGI, and he was questioning, yes, why we still import chicken and all these products. If we had
import salt, Remy, salt.
But if there was a deliberate process to ensure that we grow our economy by making sure that most of these things can be grown locally, it creates employment.
All right. So failed policies and failed systems, global cost of living crisis, and failed leadership. Nana Yosapon, you have your 30 seconds to respond. And
yes, so
other stories.
First of all, I would just have to deal with this. Now, let us establish the fact that Ghana Card was never introduced by this current administration. Ghana Card, the act or the bill that introduced Ghana Card that was put in Parliament and was passed as an act. I mean, and he's a senior lawyer. He would definitely be able to do the checks. It's Act 2006, Act 707. And this was done by President Kufuor during his tenure. And then piloting was done for Ghana Card. So it is not the policy of this current administration.
He didn't say it was a policy. He
No.
says those are part of their strategies to combat corruption.
You see that those were policy strategies that
okay.
So yes, that we were being able to establish. Now on the second point, no member of the Movement for Change, myself, no Alan Tremantin, has ever stated that we were not part of the NPP. Now, what we should know as a difference is that Alan then was a minister. There is a difference between having a ministerial authority and having a presidential executive authority. Then he's a lawyer, he understands this. Now, Alan reports to the president. He makes recommendations, and whether or not the president and his vice, as chairman of the economic management team, would take it, it's at another level, you understand. At cabinet, he would make proposals, but whether it is accepted or not, that is that of the president and his vice to take.
Did you listen to Baumia during the... Let me just put something in context for you. I think it was that media encounter, and he said that he cannot dissociate himself from the failures and successes of this government because everything was a collective responsibility. And
that's
so
how cabinet
if you go to cabinet and cabinet decides that they are going to take a particular action...
And that is why we stepped out. It's as simple as that.
You cannot, you don't get the opportunity to say that we have made proposals and it's up to the president
and of course,
and I'm telling
you, and I'm telling you, if you have opportunity to read some of the cabinet documents and even if you have opportunity to analyze in details policies that have actually been successful in this current administration, these are policy proposals by Alan Tremantin. The one district, one factory.
Yesterday.
The BRCs, the business resource centers that was seeking to actually build entrepreneurs in the youth and to create jobs.
Right.
The automobile industry that actually came in to expand the auto industry. We're looking at the AFCFTA.
Okay, we've seen,
that has made.
We get it. We know what Alan did when he was
here and
minister.
tell me
but
that Alan failed.
Yesterday,
it doesn't work.
Yesterday, Angola made some of us cry, right? I don't know how many of you were enthused about that game.
I didn't cry.
You didn't cry?
I didn't cry.
Some people were like, why? After building up so much excitement, and I'm asking myself, do you not know better than to build up excitement for a Black Star game at this point? I know some people will come for me, but this is what we are. Let's review that briefly and now come to your newspapers. How did you feel about the game yesterday? Did you watch it?
No.
Remy? Remy, you seem to be offline
I was busy working towards our presidential filing next week and of course my own parliamentary election. So that's more important.
But this is important. What is important?
In fact, as I was going home,
our reputation as once
I learned the results when I was going home.
Yeah.
I was happy. I was happy we lost. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm not being unpatriotic. But when we spent $250 million to host a 13-league game and spend how much? $4 million on tax and so much outrageous sums. If we win, I told myself that if we win, how much money then are we going to vote and then spend? This government is on record to having spent much more than the prize money at stake when we go for tournaments.
Okay.
So for me, I would wish we don't qualify, but we use the opportunity to rebuild our sports. Look at the pitch they played on. It affected our players. It's terrible. It's not fit for purpose. And so I would wish we rather stay at home and then work as a country, focus on ensuring that we really look at our code soccer. When we were young, it was so exciting. There was a structured system that was feeding the Premier League clubs. But today, it's no more.
Yeah. Mr. Ibrahim, how did you feel about the game yesterday?
Okay. I must admit, I didn't watch it yesterday.
Okay. All right.
I'm also not a very big fan of football.
Oh.
In fact, I've lived next to the Arsenal Stadium more than 8 years. I've never stepped inside it. But having said that, I watch football whenever Ghana is playing. I'm somebody who likes the patriotism it brings. So I'm very sad to know that my colleague here said he is very happy
Don't be.
Ghana lost.
Don't be, my brother.
I think that is one of the things that should unite us as a country.
But here we are.
That at least that's why our differences, there are few things that really unite us. So I would have been...
I remember a time
yes.
when we would all come out of our homes clad in the nation's flag and colors on the streets because Ghana is playing CAN 2008 or so. Like, you know, football used to be something to look forward to in this country.
So that is a new low for us as a country. There must be some few things that will unite us. That's why our political differences. And one of them would be when Ghana is playing. So... please revise your notes.
I will not.
I think that over the years,
I will when we.
Over the years, we have known the problems that we face, or the sports industry is facing. But then, over the years, the various parties that have been in power dealing with our sports also have their own concentration. Alan Chomantin has made certain proposals, and I think that all of us in Ghana agree that gone are the days when we used to have a very lovely football time where we knew the source of the people who come on the pitch, and that is all collapsed. The coastal matches that we used to play in our various areas, and so we are proposing that there is a need to bring back the love for the game and to also find ways to encourage these very young ones' talents and find a way to put them together. Okay. Now, that would only be possible when we have been able to attract, that is government facilitating and attracting private sector in investing into these young talents and also investing into the facilities that are used for these footballs. It was so embarrassing yesterday. I didn't watch the match, but after the match, I think they interviewed one of the foreigners that came around to witness the match. I think he's a football administrator.
Looks like none of us watched the game.
Complained.
None of you watched the game. I watched
he complained about the pitch.
And at some point, I just had to stop watching.
He complained about the pitch, and it's so embarrassing. If Ghana actually is one of the biggest football destinations when it comes to sub-Saharan Africa, and our facilities are like this, then there is a need. And
we have a long way to go.
I think
there's actually a fuller discussion. There's actually a fuller discussion. Musa Nabil Abdullah will bring that in a bit. So let's move on. I want to get into your story.
The sad part is that our youth now are more interested in the Premier League, foreign leagues.
Because it's more attractive.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. That that's how low we have sunk as a nation.
But that's
our people should be interested in our league.
Listen, actually under this government, they have brought in a lot of sports infrastructure. Asotov, Northeast alone, I can tell you with confidence, we have never seen a stadium. But we now have about 6 Asotov.
How good
and apparently
is that
they have built.
That is a
no, let me come. It doesn't matter.
Please.
You said they have
would encourage
and apparently they have built more than.
Nobody is only about infrastructure.
But Mr. Ibrahim, none of us said that the NPP.
No, he said.
Did I say?
He said we need. What did you say?
I said we need.
Yes.
But government.
But we need to recognize that there's a lot of investment.
So no one has said that. No one has said that this government has not done anything.
But even with this government.
Okay, gentlemen,
for the purposes of with this government, what is the quality of infrastructure they have built? Let's go into it.
And the maintenance.
And the maintenance of it.
Gentlemen,
even in this government.
2 minutes to go. Then you find a newspaper. The stories of the front page.
It is not about the infrastructure.
It's
about the quality of it.
It says here, Senate, on the front page of the new finder, it says here, Senate remains solid. Despite challenges by the Director General Kofi Bosompem Osafo-Mafo. And then Dr. Ernest Addison, the governor of the Bank of the says banking sector profit up by 25.5%. And then financing small businesses, the IFC and Access Bank team up.
We can do one and then we go.
Sure. Okay, so just briefly, the Social Security and National Insurance Trusts continues to manage its assets prudently to safeguard the interests of contributors and pensioners. Director General Mr. Kofi
Bosom has assured. And this was at a breakfast meeting organized for employers in Accra, where he had reassured stakeholders that despite their challenges, the trust remains committed to fulfilling its obligations while improving operational efficiencies and expanding services. I mean, given what they've been through in recent months, it sounds reassuring from the Director General. I'm very happy that organized labor sank in their teeth and beat this government and got them to back down from handing over the hotels. Let's
see how it goes.
Yes, that I hope that this will not just be rhetoric, but at least in his channel, let's see that he can work turn around there, because it's a fact that pensioners are taking home woeful salaries, and people are actually very scared. I'm telling you, people in their late 50s who are approaching their last 2-3 years, we talk to them and they're quite scared because they're looking at what
pensioner bondholders are still still picketing.
Exactly.
I mean,
so
Bridget Jogwenuku said something yesterday that stuck with me. She says it takes a lot of strength to not be hopeless when you wake up in this country these days. Mr. Ibrahim, what paper do you have and what are the stories on the front page?
I think the publisher, the Ghanaian publisher, MPP replaces Nkoko PC with David Asenti. Gushogu MP triggers defection in the NDC, and NDC hasn't endorsed anyone for GBA president.
Okay, so because of time, I'll rather come to you individually for a wrap of your thoughts so that we can go. I'll start with you, Nana Elsapong.
And so the Youth Caucus for the Movement for Change yesterday issued a press statement on the happenings of the Galamsey, and I just want to touch on it. You see, it's sad that when we have a national crisis that needs us to actually debate policy measures to dealing with the canker, then we would have political parties play partisan politics with it. Sweetie, this is a national crisis, and there is no need for us to do partisan politics with it. Our water bodies are being destroyed. If you look at the white Volta now, it is becoming a coffee Milo Volta. And I think that for us as the young Ghanaians, for us as a people, moving away from those areas and coming to live in the urban areas where we think that we are running away is not what is going to help.
Okay.
Ghana Water is complaining.
Make it very brief for me.
They
Our time is up.
actually have increased their budget by over 60% trying to treat water. They've shut down about 2 of their plants. If you go to these areas where Galamsey is dominant, what is happening is that they have health issues. People are developing cancer. Babies that are born have impaired deformities and all that. So I think that we shouldn't do partisan politics. If you read the page 77...
No, that's fine. We shouldn't do partisan
I'm
politics.
just concluding.
I'm just concluding. We have to go.
Ivy understands. Ivy understands I have to conclude.
Yes. I agree with him that we need to stop doing politics with Galamsey and then take it as a national issue, because both 2 major parties have tried their best to deal with that issue, and they are really, we're all struggling. So it's a national issue we need to take. But what I take on is the story of the Gushogu MP that triggered defections in the NDC. I think him, Hassan Tampuli, and then Mohamed Amin Anta, they seem to be one of the most effective MPs from the northern region. I think he in particular, his constituency, I've had the opportunity to go around some of the villages. It's mostly rural communities, and the kind of health and educational facilities he has brought to the people. It doesn't surprise me that there is defection from the NDC to the MPP. Okay.
Remy, take us home.
So on Friday, next week Friday, 13th September at 3 p.m., the Progressive People's Party will file our presidential nominations with the Electoral Commission. We are currently making steps to finalize the processes.
Bishop Labera?
That's a secret for now. We'll have a press conference.
Oh, secret?
Yes.
92 days.
Don't worry about that. It's a political strategy.
My guest
we'll
that
hold
joined me
massive
this
press
morning for the newsroom
which Joy will cover.
Remy Edmondson, the General Secretary of the PPP, Mr. Ishaq Ibrahim, Senior Lecturer at UPSA Law School, and Nanaya Sapong, political assistant to Alan Shermanting. And the PPP says their flag bearer is a secret till they file their nominations. Thank you so much for joining us on News Review segment. Sports is up next. Do stay.
It's the Friday edition of Sports on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Now, the Black Stars of Ghana began their qualifying campaign for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations with a defeat to Angola. Milson came off the bench to score in injury time to break the hearts of Ghanaians at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. The outcome was Ghana's first loss in Kumasi in 24 years. Some Ghanaians who filled the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, with many not happy with the late changes of the Black Stars boss Otuado.
We enjoyed a fantastic game, but that's bad luck was our side. I'm a Ghanaian, but actually the way we played a very fantastic game, as I said now. But actually there are some players, they were supposed to come inside early, but due to the, let's say, late substitution the coach did, unfortunately that boycott the win.
I think the coach doesn't want to make some changes. It's very crucial that, let's say, you have to substitute people like maybe Semenyo and Kudus. But we are trying to respect their reputation, so we are trying to keep them in the game. And that's not what is needed in the match. We're supposed to substitute them like the beginning of the second half.
A great disappointment, disgrace. You know what I'm saying, I mean? You know what I'm saying, I mean? Se Kumasi, she any Thursday will be upon you, my baby bono. She need prepare. Just what they one go. She the oh yeah. Who we are said the best pitch. Pitch. What is pitch? Pitch. Who catch a pitch? Who we also catch a who's a catch as changes in here, you know. Sankoyan in Tema, Nankabakasa, Kayan red coach. Masa coach, when you're ready, so over here, you want the Amazajao.
Born a day, I born. Na boys no so I idea de bia me kan boys no my idea nya me nhira wo I am boys no ya idea I am mo like vim what I say ba mu kasa na mo ye mo anya de asad na nyo it mo vim because game na nya de bia na wo se ni pa hye anytime de bia na Friday what I say boys no my idea go number no nche so anya next time no ye be sure because last time ye share mo.
I think it was a good game for me because the Black Stars, their performance is not good of late. The last time we had some 4 goals, we all enjoyed the night, but we all know the performance is not that good. So losing this game and ending a very, very good run of wins at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium for the Black Stars. In fact, a 24-year record or something. That's bad to lose the record, you know, but losing it, for me, it's fine for me because the Black Stars is not that good.
Where are we? Baba Yara losing here for the first time in 24 years. It has been coming. I mean, there are a lot of factors. Looking at how the team has been poor defensively under Otuado, and even looking at how the team failed to win convincingly under Chris Hughton. I think there had to be a reality check somewhere. We can take the off-the-field issues. We know the pitch is not good. We know there are a lot of things in terms of the venue, the atmosphere, and the grounds itself.
In everything, we give God the glory. But me, like I go blame Coach Otuado. It be like say like Angola, the last 8 games they never lost. And their game plan, their action zone, they play their games in their own half, inviting you, the opponent, make you come forward, like they catch you on counter break. This thing, as a coach, you go sit down, like make the thing happen like 1, 2, 3. If you are than your technical team, you go reason fast. Yeah.
Can't tell you senior man to Ado. Assembly say, and now changes be or her, also a bantam. Am I changes be or her? Or say bantam, who to say Nimuana lose? And Nimuana lose cry on confounded to me a possess ball, a chain, and yes, changes be or her, no, by your own cotton, no, you know, homework.
Let's just go through the standings. So it's Angola who have 3 points. They are at the top of the table in Group F. Sudan, they also have 3 points. And Ghana have got 0 points in third, and then Niger in fourth. So the next game for the Black Stars is against Niger, and that is on Monday. And as well as Angola, they also take on Sudan in their next encounter. So we try to see how these games pan out. Of course, the Black Stars will be hoping that the other game ends in a draw, because that would mean that the top 2 nations would have 4 points and the Black Stars will have 3. That keeps them, that keeps their hopes alive as far as qualifying for the tournament in concern. Now, I think let's continue with our stories. Let's talk about the Under-20 World Cup in Colombia, where the Black Princesses of Ghana risk a 7th consecutive group stage exit at the tournament. This follows their 4-1 defeat at the hands of Japan, with the Asians through to the round of 16.
28,000 people died in Ghana in 2019 as a result of air pollution. This figure surpasses fatalities from malaria, HIV/AIDS, and tuberculosis. Ghana faces significant pollution challenges from factory emissions, waste burning, and outdated fleets of public transport vehicles. To deal with air pollution and its attendant effects, 8 municipalities in the Greater Accra region have stepped up sensitization and enforcement of sanitation bylaws. At the Adentan municipality, municipal health officers spoke with residents on the need to stop the pollution. Andrew Ni Abohe led the team.
Create awareness on air pollution. We are also creating awareness today on waste management, because we know that burning of waste has also contributed to air pollution. And so once people desist from burning and then make sure that they keep their waste in designated bins, we will not have burning taking place.
He stressed the municipal assembly, after the education, will strictly enforce all sanitation laws, including prosecutions, to deal with the situation.
We've had adequate law and provisions to handle air pollution going forward. What we've done is that prosecution will be the last resort. Now, as we are creating awareness, we want them to know what to do. And once you flout the provisions of the law, we will enforce the law, and they are punitive.
Florence Kuchi, the municipal health officer at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, said they have identified some key areas of concern.
We have Choco as one of the hotspot area. We have Mamprobi as one of the hotspot area. We have Koligono as one of the hotspot area. We have Tudu. We have Cable and Wallens. We have Agboblushi. Yes. And then we have Zoti around the Kolebu Enclave as the hotspot area.
Some residents welcome the education with a promise to avoid polluting the air.
We don't have to get, because burning those things worries us a lot. So today we have learned that we should separate our boiler, at least the rubbish should go to one side, the other one, so that we can.
Green Africa Youth Organization is a key stakeholder. They are focused on promoting sustainability and reducing the vulnerability of local communities to natural hazards like air pollution. Jacob Atakpa is the project coordinator at Gaio.
The importance of this week's activities that you've seen several municipalities engage communities, engage marketplaces, engage lorry stations, is to ensure that we sensitize communities to be able to reduce the incidences of open burning. Because climate change, as we have it now, and we're feeling the impact, has a very, very big impact on livelihoods. It has a very big impact on economies and even health of individuals.
Some of the municipalities visited include Lankwantana Madina, Okaikwe North, and Ayawaso West. The goal is to reduce air pollution and planet warming emissions by 30%. Prince Kwame Kudega's report, read to you.
She's a 21-year-old student of the University of Ghana. Today, she's busy repairing her bicycle. This bicycle is more than just a mode of transportation. It symbolizes her independence and her commitment to helping others living with disability.
My name is Felicity Ajoiredaba. I'm a person living with disability called achondroplasia. I'm unique and special in all my ways and aspects.
Felicity moves her hands with dexterity as she applies a cold patch to her bicycle tire, a skill she learned in order to save money and avoid the hassle of repair shops.
And my mom and dad always advised me to learn how to use those things to repair my bike instead of sending it to the market for repairing.
A bicycle is a lifeline, not just for herself, but for her friend Esther Badu, who is visually impaired.
For my condition there, I thought it was the most tedious one. But when I came to the University of Ghana, I could see that mine was a little bit tough because some of them couldn't see. I thank God for my life, and then I was like, God, I didn't know that my problem was not as much as compared to others. I think I could help them because I can see.
Felicity and Esther's friendship began one Monday morning during the lecture. It was not until the lecture that Felicity discovered Esther's visual impairment.
When I came, I was always in my room. I was like, so how am I going to mingle with people? You know, stigmatization and stuff. Sometimes I would like to speak with someone, but they think being a visually impaired is contagious. So they will not like to come close to you. So when I met Felicity, I was like, wow. I've met, although she's also a person with a disability, but she's helping me a lot.
The way she was looking at me, I thought she could see. I didn't know she was visually impaired. So she asked me for a guideline back to the lecture hall. So I told her that, how can this be? Because I know that you can actually see. Why are you pretending not to see? So she was like, she's a visually impaired, she can't see. So I decided to help her.
And so began a friendship. Every day, Felicity and Esther navigate the sprawling campus together. As Felicity rides, Esther holds her shoulder, guiding her friend to their lecture halls.
Every time I have to help her out by sending her to the lecture halls and all that. It has been a very difficult task for us, but I still insist of helping her by riding her to the lecture halls. Even though our lecture halls is at the top floor.
The photography of the land is not favorable to us. There are gutters, holes, steps and stuff. And she's using her bike. So when we get to gutter, we have to, because she has to get down and help her. I will help her with the bike, carry it to cross the gutter before we continue. When there are steps, she has to get down. It's stressful.
Their bond extends beyond the classroom. They study, cook, and share laughter during their leisure time. Felicity's heart is filled with compassion, not just for Esther, but for others living with disabilities. She finds joy in assisting her friends, despite the challenges they face.
Other people could see their problem to be contagious. They think that maybe coming in contact with them, they will actually be infected and other stuff. So I decided to be friends with her in order to give her a helping hand.
Their friendship is reciprocal. Esther helps Felicity with tasks like washing dishes and provides academic support, explaining difficult concepts during their study sessions.
Some of the animals also have reversed legs, lagoon.
Anywhere she's going, she wants me to go with her, and so do I. Like, we can't go and leave one another. Maybe she'll leave me in the room. When she's going to buy something, she'll be like, Esther, please. And I said, Felicity, how can I visually impaired be? I said, she said, no, I don't care. Let's move together. We move together. So anyway, so I really like, there is this friction between the two of us. Yeah.
Esther too cherishes their friendship, finding strength and comfort in their daily interactions.
It has been fantastic. We sometimes quarrel. Sometimes when it's time for lectures, I'll be tired. We'll not sleep early because we'll study the whole night. Maybe we'll sleep at 2 and stuff. So we had to wake up for the next lecture. She'll come and wake me up. I'll be like, Felicity, why did you come to wake me up? You have to leave me. Then we'll quarrel because of this thing. Then not serious fight stuff. We just fight and yeah. And she's not a kind of person, even if you say something, she'll be angry. She'll just, sometimes I do say something, I'll be like, Felicity, why are you not mad at me? She said, no. Then I'll just apologize. Then we move on. Yeah, so I really love our friendship.
Their shared moments of joy and mutual support paint a beautiful picture of what friendship truly means. Felicity dreams of becoming a journalist, using her voice to advocate for others with disabilities.
I want to be a journalist because I've not seen people giving news like me. And for that matter, I would like to use the power of the microphone to advocate for persons living with disabilities.
I want the whole world to know of our friendship, a visually impaired and a person living with a quadriplegia, being besties.
Despite the challenges, Felicity and Esther are determined to succeed in their academic pursuit and hope their friendship will inspire others, as well as highlight the need for better support for students with disabilities. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
My God will always.
Mon chasso, nefe. Me shen no ma etu. Ahun kakeke. Look at mon shen nuya. I mean, when I who baby I know. When you're friendly beautiful scenery. And Futu Constituency ho na ye ne twa picture. This is beautiful. Nemo mon shen su no. Mon shen su no. Efie ko wiase ba ye nyina wo nsuo yi mu. Enso na adane bibia wo hu odwene ho a wo nte ase. Enu nti na ebe gina hai. Mr. Ghana from ma, especially ma menom. Obi amo na boso. Asem na gi ensem o. He say asem na nya asem ya chance table kan biem. Enya asem e de pen ni paper kan biem. Me du junction he say me du hai. Onkofo e ton monko. Omo achi bayire. Omo chi fish. Omo to fish. I have fish baby. It's a hifa pa pot na omo chi fish na free. Say so ya. I sense so when I'm watching fish in every nana. You best slow bia. Obi Aquadoma, a fair river be Pamu River. Pamun so no to say dear. I coaching. I domain Kogana has so a yao. As soon so no, I clear. A sign say, or searching for or see a dear your Ajiman Bedu the second. Doctor or say ni krom do ma mem ho no obiara obe galam say oni wudi or fra him funa ka kire omo enti ko hwe ba bia nso ni aye wo ho me papa president e kasa oba ye ndi obe ye di kan pa do ye ni say wutwa galam say mu say ye mpa kwan emfanye na nka bibia ntoto wa we anye yi kire say wono wotin crying na wo pese wo yade ni ye no do no ti makurase ana wo sa kuro ase no ono de ope no no be ye mo ye bio politicians anye ye civil servants anye ye civil society anye ye mo me fa nhye one of the same institution the traditional institution no a established institution mo me fa nhye omonsa na ye make sure say sa ekun we aye kun.
That there is Nana Akosua Frimpomaa Sapon Kuma the just elected presidential candidate of the CPP. Congratulations, and she joins us in studio for a conversation. Congratulations, Nana. I mean, not just on the election, but also winning that case in court, you know, that long-standing battle that finally cleared you as chairperson. And now, the flag bearer. How does it feel? And you look beautiful this morning.
Thank you very much. You look pretty.
Yeah.
How does it feel? If I start talking about it, it's going to be tears.
Oh.
Tears for the people of this country. Tears because I stood for what I believed in. And I want to assure every single person listening to my voice, especially the young people, that we will do what is right for this nation, regardless.
You will do what is right
for this nation, regardless. That is what I've sacrificed my life for. What I know is right. And what you saw there is not because it's trending today. It was done, I think, about a year or two ago. We will do what we know is right because we are going to live by the principles of Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We are going to live by the principles that sets up this nation.
Right.
For the reason for which the independence, it's ours though, nobody should fight for their independence. It should be your right. But when it's been deprived, you must fight for it.
Yesterday.
And definitely as we sit here today, the purpose for which we are Ghanaians, the purpose for which government is formed, the purpose for which we are talking about democracy, we've lost it.
We've lost it.
Completely.
We've lost our democracy.
We have.
Or the purpose for it.
Yes. And so we are at a situation where we have a clear understanding. It's just like Osadifo when he came in. He knew clearly. That's why you see our symbol says freedom. That was exactly what we needed to do. Get our basic freedom first, become at least a sovereign state, and then from that point, do what is right for yourself, your people, your children, and your generation.
Okay, so we'll get into the issues and all that.
I'm happy. I just want you to know that I'm accelerating. It's beyond happiness for me. I tell people that if you see me, Ghana, be happy. You can go everybody should make sure that they have a cockerel. Just make sure it's not red. Because Ghana, there's going to be a revolution.
Nana Frimpomaa.
Yes.
Yesterday, it looks like some people were not happy about your ascension to the throne or your, emerging as winner and flag bearer of the CPP. What happened there? What do you think was going on? What's happening?
Let me put
we saw it on TV, so it's only fair that we ask you to clarify what we saw.
I mean, honestly speaking, what I saw were people who were jubilating.
Okay.
There might be somebody who wasn't happy. And clearly, it's the context. Even when I was growing up, I remember when we were playing Ludo in the house. Unless my daddy was part of it. When it's always us, somebody is trying to manipulate the system. And when the person wins, the person is not happy. So they would tell you, so a game there, when you lose, it's okay. There's time to play another one. I mean, this is a clear, I can say, a chunk part of the establishment was not for me.
Okay.
If somebody must be crying foul, it's me. But clearly, the people spoke.
Okay.
So if somebody says that the system, there was a rigging or something, you see, we didn't do the election in one location.
Yes.
We did it in 16 regions. So what happened in all the regions?
I get your point.
Well,
congratulations. You are the flag bearer now. So let's talk about what you are going to do, your vision, your policies. But I want to start from Galamsey because that's the video we just saw, and you sound very passionate about it. At this point in this country right now, Ghana Water Companies struggling to supply the 70% that was already a deficit. Now we're all the way down to 40%. And yesterday I saw a report that they might be coming down to 30% supply of water. And if care is not taken, we might have to import water. This country imports water. How do you intend to, wage war on this menace that is crippling us as a nation? Because it's not just our water bodies now. It's affecting cocoa farmers. It's affecting fishermen. Galamsey is just a canker that is eating at the very fiber that makes up this country. What is your plan to combat this menace head on?
Thank you for the opportunity again, and that is why I'm so excited. because then your voice cannot be heard. I've spoken about Galamsey. I've gone to meetings and conferences and things, workshops, and I've made my voice clear. However, it's not been heard, and I'm hoping that now, not only will my voice be heard, it can be implemented by myself and the people of this nation who really want to see a difference. This problem is not something that happened overnight. We saw it coming. It's not a rocket science that you say that maybe one day we woke up and there's a problem and how do we bring experts to solve it. These were done by everyday people, everyday Ghanaians, our children, who are looking for living. They wanted to be able to make sure that they take care of themselves and their family. They've not heard. They've not heard to trying to make sure they have, but the institutions. All this problem we're talking about is institutions. If you don't have the proper institutions to work, and there's this extent of corruption, that is where I talk about governance. Government, by Abraham Lincoln, is government of the people, for the people, by the people. You understand? Government. I'm not sure if I've quoted it well, but that is in essence.
The government of the people, for the people, and by the people.
You understand?
Yeah.
That is their crux and their core of the democracy that they have practiced.
Okay, but let me
tell you why I'm saying that. We had a system in place before the colonial invaders, and that is our traditional structure. So today, if a chief gets here, no matter what, we all get up and we give reverence. If you go to whether it's Otumfo, my Osajifo, no matter where you go, and you go into the traditional council, you give reference to the people, simply because that is part of our upbringing. If we dissolve our structures, we bring in structures to govern the people, and it has now become government by some people, for some people, not for the people. Do you understand? So we've mixed it, the institutions, the governance of this country. We must not leave the group, the small unit, that small unit called a village, that small unit where a water is passing, have government system.
Are you saying that the institutions have failed the fight in combating Galamsey, and that's how you plan to tackle the menace?
Absolutely.
How? Are you going to constitute new institutions, regulations? How exactly what is your vision to kill this thing once and for all, Galamsey?
I have, as part of my whole thing, 3 pillars. There's going to be ethics, equity, and innovation. Now, when I talk about ethics, equity, and innovation, the ethics, yes, equity and innovation. These are the pillars upon which we're going to build this country back and give it to the ownership of the Ghanaian to really be able to take back what they've lost. Listen to me here. The country as we have it today, who is in charge? Who is in charge? Everything has melted to a central system that can't hold anymore. Why am I saying institutions? That village that gets the water, that young boy that is working, who is doing Galamsey, going under, and sometimes collapsing on them. These are human beings. These are the governments of the people, by the people, for the people. They go and vote. And wherever they go to vote, under my government, that location will be the government. Baby, I'll go to Wabano. And a bed dying Wabai. See, the master me coming. Life is not complicated. I'll reduce it as a mother. When there's a problem in the house, and they can't solve.
We're talking about centralized government.
We will
so
bring it.
For every community, you have people there who govern themselves and take decisions that are good for the community. I want to follow you and understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that the Galamsey issue that you today are going to have an issue with because you won't have enough water in your house has been caused by a location, small units.
Yes.
You understand? It's not done in my bedroom. It's done in small villages across the country. Yeah. And that has culminated into a problem that we can't seem to solve to the extent that even our export, our cocoa and our fruits, I can't even eat crab. I love crab so much. Since I did that program, when I'm eating my shrimp and crab, I'm concerned. Do you understand? Because I saw the water from where it was being taken.
Some would argue that we have the laws in place. We have regulatory bodies. We have military officials. We have people. We have the laws. We have the systems. But it is actually a lack of political will to fight this thing head on. Also because our politicians, our leaders, need the money that is coming from Galamsey in order to fund their campaign activities, especially in this election year. So how do you assess that? Do you think that the institutions will automatically remove the problem without a good or strong political will? Because even if you institute new policies or new programs, create a new institution, it is the will to actually say that we do not want to, subject this country to the devastating nature that Galamsey has plunged us into as we speak.
Let
so
me
what
say
is the
this
plan
on
there?
record.
Yeah.
I will not sit here and do politics, just a populist statement. The problem that you have outlined must be addressed from the core. And I'm saying that at the core is lack of integrity, ethics. At the core is corruption. At the core is greed. At the core is no accountability. At the core of all this is lack of welfare for the people. But to be able to address that, you need to be able to understand that people must be able, the concerns of people must be addressed. And how do you do that? I sit here as a government and I make a policy. And the policy I think is the best, including if you wanted to build a house of God. You understand? Because before I got it, I went on my knees and I prayed with my God. And my belief says that, let me build a church. I couldn't even do that, even with people that are supposed to be heads of Christian authorities. You know why? Because the corruption is so deep that you can't do. That is why one of the things that I said, I'm talking about ethics, is that even in our pledge and in our creed and in our claim to be able to become, say, I pledge as the citizens, as the president of this nation, I will do that with my Bible and in the presence of water.
Oh.
Thank you. You remember that?
Yes, I remember. We had the conversation. I think it was earlier this year about bringing back swearing with water and the practices of African traditional religion.
And ethics. We will reset the button.
So that's how you intend to combat.
No, in addition
to the rules and the
in addition to using structured system, intelligent. I'm an IT person. I believe I know the current technology, but I also know that it's a human being that sits there to do the system. And therefore, in bringing the system, I'll make sure that at least the psyche, God is within all of us. Nobody is that evil. I don't believe that these politicians there are there to make sure that we die or they kill us. But today, all of us will go to our graves, either having defected children, the fetal stuff, even young people. People are having babies with deformities. You understand? Kidney, people are just dying, kidney problem, liver, all these things are based on the chemicals that we are consuming. I'm telling you, the institutions are failing. You are sitting here, I'm sitting here. Who's supposed to ensure that the Galamsey is being done the proper way?
Nana Frimpomaa, as we speak, I think the majority, about 70% or so of the Ghanaian population are Christian. Do you think they'll buy into this belief of swearing by water as a way of promoting our integrity and, ethics and all that?
Don't swear by water, but you swear in presence of water. Do you drink water in the morning?
Yes, I did.
So why are you afraid of water? Thank you.
So you think, okay, anyway, you also talked about corruption, right?
Corruption.
What is the plan there as well? I know that you will be giving us your manifesto in a bit, but let
me explain to you. I said we will bring governance to a system. The corruption, the person, where do you build properties? In a location. Where does the police officer supposed to be able to make sure that he does the right thing? In a particular location. You and I are not there. We will ensure, and listen to me clearly, local government will be brought to the people. It will be government of the people, so the people themselves within that locality will be running that particular location. for the people, in the interest of the people within that location.
So let's take, for example, our local MMDs and, are you saying that we are going to be electing them so that we put someone from the community there who understands the plight of the people? That will also be alluding to constitutional review, because our constitution currently allows that the president is the one who appoints them. So when you say a government for the people, it sounds like a very centralized approach to, tackle the issues head on, based on the issues coming out in the various communities and how these people in that particular community are handling it. So are you saying that we need to review our constitution so that the people can elect our local governments to represent us, so that everything there is happening is centralized? Is that it?
You see this question that you've asked?
Yeah.
It makes me a little understand where you are coming from. But that shows clearly why we have a problem. You know why?
Why?
What you've just said is already in a place. We already elect people as our smallest locality. I don't need to change the constitution. I'm only going to ensure that what is right for the people is done. Listen, as you go to vote today, I don't even vote. People don't go there. Every unit committee area is voted. We have people in every small village who is supposed to represent that village, but they don't even know their job. We just pay money to vote them, and if they don't, there's nothing to tell them. We are talking about decentralization, not centralizing. Decentralization to the people, for the people, within the Teshi community, within the Nungwa community, within the Labadi community. I wouldn't know what is wrong with them. They know what is wrong with them. They know the solution. I am only here to ensure that what is right is done. That the people that have put in the ministries are going to ensure that they are going to hold them accountable. Because government is going to be accessible to the people. If you walk to vote, listen to me. If you walk to vote in a location, you will walk to your government in that location. And that is my promise. Baby, I will be Nancy to Wabano. Mammy, Papa, Onya, Brancy, a honor your wabine. Now, my mama, I'm telling you today that in that location, we will change every polling station, will become a government center. You don't need to sit down. If you crawl to go and vote for me, you will crawl to find your location. We will use in technology. We will make sure that you can go online and use access. But you didn't go online and use access to vote for us. So we will make it also convenient for you to go in there. So that when there's a problem with Galamsey, when the water is being polluted, when you can't have access to job, when your father who got a stroke is in the house and there's no welfare and social services have collapsed, somebody is going to have to answer. Somebody
in order for you to do all these things. But before I even get there, when should we expect the manifesto from you?
I think that immediately we finish our filing, maximum by the time that we celebrate the birthday of our father, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we would have our manifesto.
So there's not a confirmed date yet?
It should be around that time, on that day.
Now,
we have not confirmed this is supposed to go through. We have already done our manifesto. Indeed, we have the best manifesto.
What's it called?
No. I mean the previous one. This one. Let me keep it small here.
It shouldn't be a secret. It's 92 days to the elections. We
don't
should
worry,
be absorbing and dissecting.
I'm giving you some. I'm telling you that.
Okay.
Listen, people think we are late. Sometimes it's even better to be late, so then you get to observe everything and you come in at a time with the energy. It is not about the time. Right. We've done it before in this country. 3 months we still won elections in Ghana with the CPP.
All right.
You understand?
I like where you landed. So now you know that I did not want to call it a small parties, but compared to the 2 major parties, you are relatively small.
Absolutely.
Great. And over the years, it appears these smaller parties have had challenges, tipping the scale between the NDC, and which is why we've had NDC and PP for the past 32 years. I believe you hope to break this tide, this duopoly, in terms of resource mobilization, in terms of gathering supports at the grassroots level. I've heard you talk about mobilizing the youth and all that. How do you intend, or what are you doing differently so that this time you actually have a chance to tip the scales?
You see, the government that we would have in place, which is the government at the unit committee level. The unit committee is the polling station. The unit committee is the polling station. We would tilt this by giving power to the people there. You won't become a minister in our government if you don't have presence in that unit committee level. You won't become the head of anything in our government if you can't deal and work with them. So how are we going to tell the state? Is to ask the youth to take over. We're asking the youth to organize themselves. Don't let anybody deceive you. I don't have the solutions. I can't solve your problem without water. The woman who has to pay for 2 cedis buckets of water before his child can or her child can have bath to go to school or use the... I'm sorry. Sometimes these things, they choke me, you understand? Because I'm going to bring a certain feminine touch.
We'll get there in a bit.
The men are smart people, all intelligent, you have the best brains, but what we have lacking is the human touch, the welfare of the people. Let me quote you what our father said, that we must be judged by what access you have to potable drinking water, to education, affordable housing, food, accessible quality. How much, these are the things that we want to be judged by our government. Not necessarily how many highways or how many hospitals. When you build hospitals, so many hospitals in centers, and people are drinking lead and mercury water, what is the essence of the hospital? Okay. When you build hospitals and you let women, in POP, you leave them under trees and they die from the bites of ants. And till today, we haven't been told what has happened to that institution. Those doctors, that ambulance, I'm going to get to them. Who did that thing?
We are all living in this country and we are feeling the pinch. I mean, we'll talk about the economy in a bit. And yet, most Ghanaians are afraid that a vote for the smaller parties is a spoiled vote.
I agree with you.
The question is, how do you intend to change that mindset so that at least, if not win the elections, but offset the NDC and PP duopoly in a bit? What is the plan from the CP? I know that you just had the election yesterday, and so it might be a bit early, I don't know, but what really is the plan to ensure that you make some significant impacts in this election year in about 92 days?
And let me get back to you again. Elections are won at polling stations.
Right.
So our plan is simple. That's the plan I had before. And thank God I'm here. So that's what I'm telling every young person, to really thank them. I think this is the spirit of Sadifo, because he has realized that his vision and his dream has become meaningless. It's not working for this country. So somebody with a spirit must come back to ensure that his vision would really be realized. Listen, I'd like to reduce things to the smallest unit. Government is going to be at the center. So the youth at the polling station, at our governance center, will not take over. They will take over. They are going to get involved. They're going to get involved with our campaign. It is not for me to go there and tell them. It's not like they should vote for me. They're going to vote for themselves. The way we've structured our system, the youth will be voting for themselves. Because when they get involved and they go to vote, they are voting for their future. They are voting for their current situation. They are voting for themselves being able to access equity. That's why we said there's going to be equity. Equity for everybody. The disabled, the woman, the aged, the young person, the brilliant, the not so brilliant child. Everybody in the society. So we will ensure that in the structure that we are coming up with at your polling station, that is your government. So get up and get involved. Get up and vote for yourself. You're not voting for me and Frimpomaa.
So the central message of your campaign is ethics, equity, innovation.
Precisely.
Okay.
And it's going to be the equity, which would be most of when you look at our policies, our manifesto, you realize that we are bringing it to the people. We're not telling people what we will do for them. We are telling people that will give them the space to be able to do what is right for them. Government is only supposed to create an enabling environment. The government is supposed to make sure that the roads that are supposed to be done in that area, if we have put money in place, that road that is being done by the people there. You don't bring somebody from here to go and give him a mineral resource in my locality, and then the person, you bring military from a central location to come to a small location to ensure that there is no galamsey. When within that location, there is an odikro and a queen mother or some traditional person that you can hold responsible. Madam, are you understanding me?
Yes,
I have been a traditional ruler and I understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When we take the stool, our desire is only one. You want to live by the ancestral spirit. That means the land and the people. You are entrusted with the people, the land and the people, to ensure that what is done is right for them is done. Now, government has taken that out. Now you are bringing commissions, tax force and everything, and you are leaving the traditional person out there. He gave the land to the person farming. The person farming has been there for years. Now, all of a sudden, somebody comes in, and the person wants to come and mine. And me that have finished the university, my mother used to be on this land, and I know there's gold there. And you want me to sit down? No.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I get you.
I will let the responsibility be with that queen mother and that chief. If there's a problem, he is the one who's going to be fired. And I can assure you, if we leave that responsibility to chiefs, like my chief did in Doma, we will have clean water. Within a matter of a month to 90 days, Ghana will see a reverse. There is nothing we can't do if the people have the will, but they must believe in it. And if they think that it is coming to them, let me tell young people, I will not take the galamsey away from you. Don't let anybody deceive you. No.
You will not take galamsey away from them?
No. I will put the institutions in place so that you will be able to do what is human. You would own the gold. The gold is owned by you. If it can't be done the proper way, it will stay there until a structure is put in place. But it won't go to no foreigner. Trust me on this one.
Now, Ghana is facing a series of economic challenges. We can talk about inflation, rising public debt, unemployment. In fact, nearly 2 million young people are neither in employment, it's skills development or training. And then there's that Afrobarometer report that says 9 out of 10 people think that the country is going in the wrong direction. When you listen to the manifestos that have been put forward so far, everybody's talking about how they intend to create jobs, how they intend to revive the economy. You can talk about John Mahama's 24-hour economy. You can talk about the NPP's digitalization and, all the things that they're promising. What is your plan to turn the economy around in terms of employment, in terms of education, in terms of industrialization? In fact, the CPP was known as one of the parties that was propelling their industrialization agenda, So how do you intend to revive that in agriculture, all the things that really make up the backbone of this economy? How do you intend to do that and revive the economy? Are you resetting? Are you upgrading? Are you transforming? What are you doing?
First of all, we are resetting the ethics.
So you buy into the resetting agenda? I'm
not buying into the resetting. We had the resetting agenda.
Oh.
We came late. But we said we reset ethics.
Okay.
We reset ethics in this country. That for me is basic. How do you make sure that the economy works? Let me tell you something. All the promises they are making, I've listened. There's a reason why we never went to IMF and people have always keep going to IMF. We will go back to IMF, except you bring it back to us. There will be IMF, no matter, I've listened to everybody. They will go back to IMF. Let me tell you why. When you look, and you can do that because now everybody can go online. If you look at the economy of this country and other developed countries, you realize that about 80 to 90% of us are in the informal sector. Okay? The definition by ILO, International Labour Organization, let's state that the unemployed person is somebody who has gone to look for a job within the past 3 weeks. So even when they give you figures, that is the basis of their figures. That the unemployed youth, 2 million, you think youth in this country, unemployed youth are 2 million. They are saying that the person who is carrying today, selling ice water is an employed youth because he hasn't gone to look for a job. Yeah. That the definition of unemployment by the world is that somebody who has not gone to look for a job within the past 3 weeks is employed. Listen, Ghanaians are petty traders. we are on our own. There's no structure system in Ghana that addresses that. The system only takes and uses the GDP of all these cumulative small
enterprises
together to then say that they are manage it and say whether it's been managed properly or not. We will change that. That is the first thing I'm going to change. We are going to change the informal sector to formal sector by empowering the informal sector to be able to become corporations and cooperatives and give them funding. We will put money into the human capital, not into major infrastructure programs. The first 2 years of this country, 20 million people in this country would have access to funding. I'll give you the details later. 20 million. If you're listening to me, get back and join the CPP at your polling station, because that's where the government is coming.
Where would
whether
you get
this? Whether you're NPP, NDC, or it won't matter to us.
Right.
We do not discriminate.
How do
if
you
are
intend,
Ghanaian,
right.
you are Ghanaian.
How do you intend to raise the funds that you want to inject into this 20 million people? I mean, same question we are asking all the other flag bearers. I mean, the promises seem ambitious, but the question of how you intend to fund them. So some of them are talking about reducing government size, boosting revenue collection and broadening the tax brackets, even on the back of some tax incentives and freebies that they are offering. How do you intend to get money to inject into small and medium enterprises, 20 million people?
We are going to give back.
That's more than half the population of the country.
Absolutely, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
20 million, almost everybody. Equity. We are going to give back the country to the Ghanaian, okay? So that we, the women that used to go and buy things from abroad, that now it is even cheaper to buy from the China shop than to go and buy anything from China. We are jokers in this country. We are jokers. We are just giving with a certain mentality. Private sector is the engine of growth. Private sector, capitalism. Capitalism without capital for your people is a sellout of your people. It's an impoverishment to your people. You are talking about, you have opened your liberal policies have opened your door for anybody to come in the name of private sector being the engine of growth. But who is the private sector? Is it the woman selling the ice water? Or is it the person selling the small kinky since 60 years ago? We will bring that money that I'm talking about is going to empower groupings so that the women selling the kinky will now become a cooperative with funds. She doesn't have to sell kinky the same method. Innovation is part of our system. So they will use innovation based on the equity, which is the funds that we'll be giving them. So that now we will have kinky ice cream, kinky yogurt, kinky everything, without necessarily going through that process. If the people where I used to buy kinky when I was a young girl, 60 years on, I'm still buying kinky from that place within the same system. That for me is a shame. Let me tell you something.
That's a solid plan to actually inject money to, sort of put some formality to the informal sector. But the question is,
where is the money coming from?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
We are in debt, too. As we speak, we are over 700 billion Ghana cedis in debt. So where are you going to get the money from?
As we speak.
And you said we won't go to IMF because if you follow the current
we don't have to go to IMF. That is the last place.
Where's the money coming from?
Let me give you an example. You see the agriculture, if you travel from here to Paga, you see the lands that are available there. Land is a resource. Land is money. Land can be used as what's that thing that you do? Like, what is it that when you are trying to get a loan? What as a collateral?
Collateral. Okay.
Land is a collateral if it's properly registered. You understand? You don't need, as a government, to go and get 30 billion to come and hand over to young people. We have network. The Chinese are coming here. The Indians have already produced some sort of technology. We have the land. We empower our young people from the pooling. That's why I said I reduce it to a certain level. From that level, you empower the people there so that the district now is empowered. So that the district, the business within that community, if they need to have a factory I'm not going to open the doors for you who have already produced the equipment in China, India, Australia, everywhere, to now come and set the factory here and just give employment to my youth. No. The factory must be owned by the Ghanaian. However, we would have a system which for me is so simple that would allow this equipment to be leased and brought in partnership with the people. So if I say that I'm going to raise 20 billion within the first year and make sure that every Ghanaian youth has access to $1,000, and that $1,000,
huh? You're going to raise 20 billion within the first 1 year.
Yes.
And make sure that every Ghanaian youth has access to $1,000.
Absolutely. Let me tell you why. That would revolutionize.
So the 20 billion is cedis?
Yes.
But the $20 billion dollars.
Yes.
And then every Ghanaian youth $1,000. Yes. Why are you even quoting in dollars?
Because the reason why is that it is after our government that there will be no quotation for dollars.
All right. But I want to understand what the
plan is. The reason why I'm using dollars is because every day you wake up, there's a dollar fluctuation based on the faulty economic system that we have. But when we are done, nobody will make quotation in dollars because price will remain the same for long. But in Ghana, prices do not remain the same. Prices are hedged towards the money that we don't have. If I say 10, when I said 10,000 3 years ago. Now 10,000 is no more anything. So I'm using dollars so that if by the time I take over it's 20,000, then it means that Ghanaian youth knows he has access to 20,000 Ghana cedis. Okay. But after we are done, within the first 2 years, there will be no dollar problem in this country. That funds that we are going to give out, are you listening to me? That funds that we are going to give out is going to be given to young people who are into any sector of the economy, so that they will be able to become the ice water person. Let's say I am a smart person that seems to be selling all these things, ice kinky. Now, I have opportunity using innovation with the system that we'll put in, the ministry that we'll put in place, for the person to now gather 100 people. That 100 people now put their money of $100,000 into that corporation to be able to bring the equipment that makes the kinky, turns it into quality, clean ice kinky, packages it well, and so that it can be frozen and it can be sold. So the woman doesn't have to now get up. Listen, you see the carrying of goods in Ghana, it will be faded out in a decade. We will fade it out. It's dehumanizing.
You fade out the headquarters.
It's dehumanizing.
Street hawkers.
It's dehumanizing.
Okay.
For any young person to get up, and the only way he makes an income is to carry something on the head and be selling before he makes an income. I don't wish for my children, I don't wish it for my grandchildren, and I will not wish it for any Ghanaian child.
And to change that status quo, you're going to be giving $1,000.
I'm going to invest and inject 20 billion immediately, not into major infrastructure, but into human capital.
And this 20 billion, just for clarity, is coming from?
Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. Please, how much did you say you owe?
Oh, so over 700. Over 700 billion.
Where did it come from?
Cities. It came from the finance minister. In his latest address.
No. Where did that money come from?
Debts. That's how much we owe.
How did you owe the debts?
From borrowing.
And what else? You understand?
So you will not borrow? Or in the first few years, you borrow that first capital, and then you turn the economy around and then cut off.
I'm a business person.
Okay.
I've grown up as an entrepreneur all my life. I will not borrow. I will. Do you know what they call Domienche? Have you heard of it before?
Yeah.
What is
a group of people come together, farm, and then divide the produce
Why
and all that.
I'm at 3 over 10. Domienche means that I own the land.
Right.
And then because I own the land, I don't maybe not have the time to do it. So you come in and you come and you farm. And then at the end of the day, you take part of the process and I take part of the process. Our great ancestors who did not know anything about economy, have not gone to Harvard, Yale, was able to put a structure in place that till today still makes sense.
I'm really looking forward to your manifesto. I'm sure you will elaborate more on these policies to turn the economy around. So let's
simply is that it's about vision. It's about putting the human being in the center of every policy. Okay. Once you make every child your child, once you make every human being like you, once you understand that every child and every human being has access and has a right to quality education, quality house, affordable housing, and these basic things, then the Spirit of God within you will give you the answers as He gave to our Father.
What do you think about our judicial system? I mean, when I hear you talk about the swearing with water or of water to boost or help
with
integrity and ethics and all that, do you think that our judicial system needs some improving? And what's your plan there?
Absolutely. Listen, whether it's there.
Are we reverting back to old days where, you know, the chiefs are the ones who adjudicate? And what's your plan? Let me not jump the gun.
Let me tell you, I don't believe in going back to our roots.
But your whole plan is for us to incorporate swearing an oath or swearing with water, which is, some would argue that that's primitive, for want of a better word.
Precisely.
Because that's something we used to do.
People even call me Mami Water. For lack of ignorance. Listen, tell you, I am an Osagyefo child. I am a Pan-Africanist. I believe in Africa. I do not believe that my ancestors are evil. I want to tell everybody on the stage today, our ancestors are not evil. Okay. Our ancestors were good, loving people. We had the best system until the invaders came to this country. And they have been able to pollute us and make us believe that everything about us is evil. If you will swear by the Quran, and you will swear by water, and you will swear by affirmation, you will not do it by water because you are afraid. Period.
As a woman,
and that fear is what I'm bringing back into our system of governance, so that the people that take authority and say they're going to do things for us, they must be reminded every day about why they've taken that responsibility. The responsibility is not for you and your children. The responsibility will happen. Look at the water. Look at the galamsey. You think it happened because people are evil? No, but because systems are not working.
If the Bible and the Quran, swearing with the Bible and the Quran
did not work,
how sure are you that water would work?
Because I believe in integrity and I believe in the psyche of people. I believe that our psyche as Africans is linked to our land. Water is, please go and Google water. Even when you speak positive things on water, it changes the molecule of water. It's there. It's been established scientifically.
Okay, we have
what we are saying here is not so. If you speak that I, Nana Frimpomaa, swear by this Quran, blah blah blah, I said do it in the presence of water. That's I. If I may err, I want to be judged, or I want the system to hold me accountable. Meanwhile, I've brought the police officer. I'm the one who brought the head. I'm the one who decides who becomes the head of the judiciary and everything. And you think that means anything? We don't fear nothing.
Nana Frimpomaa.
We will be swearing by everything, including the water you drank this morning and the water you had a bath with this morning, so that you have a responsibility to the people who have elected you. If you're afraid, don't come.
As a woman flag bearer, you are encouraging a broader participation of women in leadership, and it's no small feat. I mean, and then there's this gender, there's the fight for gender equity, equality, parity, whichever. There's the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill yet to be assented into law. I just want your assessment of that, and then we go. How do you feel about that?
I feel, how do I feel? Without the affirmative law, I'm still here. Let me tell you something. I'm sorry to talk to people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to wait for, let's not wait for no man to give us power. It will happen. Power is not given on a silver platter. Power doesn't come to you. Let's go for it. Women, present yourselves. You are the ones that really, really can make the difference. The men have tried. They are our fathers. They are our husbands and our brothers and cousins. When in any home, when a man is doing something and the man can't seem to get the answers, women just come in to support. All I'm here to do is support. Let's bring our forces together. We are in the majority, and let's support the men to make this nation work for our children and for our great children. I don't know whether this bill that has gone through would even become anything this lifetime. I don't know. We're talking about affirmative bills all this while.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's the best thing for this country.
I'll give you 30 more seconds to wrap your thoughts for me.
Let me say this opportunity and tell all the youth and everybody. First of all, thank you, CPP. Thank you. Thank you, delegates. You made a choice. Let me give you, every youth listening to my voice. This is your time, and this is your moment. I, Nana Frimpomaa, have represented you for the past 30 years. And all I'm telling you, that bringing governance to you at your doorsteps. That's all. Don't let anybody deceive you. The power and the force is in you. We will let you unleash your own force by bringing it to you at the doorsteps. And so be attentive and get to hear about our policies and get involved. Nobody is going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself. That is Nana Akosua Frimpomaa Sapon Kuma, the flag bearer of the Convention People's Party.
The flag bearer has made history with the longest
longest
name.
Word. Longest name. We have what? 5 names. Nana Akosua Frimpomaa Sapon Kuma. Congratulations once again.
And I meant history.
And all
the first political party that has won power in this country to elect a woman as state presidential candidate.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. And we are looking forward to your manifesto, and then we can probe more on how feasible it would be. There's a lot more coming your way, but before I go, Joy News, an amalgam of professional bodies, is organizing a public speaking on the theme Transformed Individuals Transforming the World, a challenge for the religious community in Ghana. The speakers are Dr. Philip Bedman, Dr. Mrs. Yvonne Yorenchura Iseku, Ambassador Standa Ahmed, and the main speaker for the day is Reverend Dr. Joseph Kofi Entry, moderated by Philip Osaibunsu, the host of Ekosi Sen on Asempa FM. This is happening on the 17th of September 2024, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. sharp at the British Council Hall. So for more information, please call 0244-220-426. Remember, the event is powered by Joy News and Joy FM. Don't go away. There's a lot coming your way on the AM show. I'll be right back. And we're back on your screens. Let's talk about the Ghana 2024 Biennial Congress, a program coming from the Pan-African Association of Catholic Exegetes. This is the 21st edition, but the first time it's happening here in Ghana. To discuss this is Reverend Father Dr. Michael Mensah. He's a lecturer at the Department of Religion at the University of Ghana, as well as Dr. Millicent Togo. She's Director of Diversity and International Programs and Adjunct Lecturer at Ashesi University. Father and Dr. Millicent, welcome to the program. This official opening, I was just telling you that the topic is very interesting, and it's on the theme, the Bible and the African Child in the Post-Pandemic Age. But before we get into that, let's talk about the Ghana 2024 Biennial Congress. What is the Congress really about, Father?
So thank you very much, sweetie. So this is the Pan-African Association of Catholic Exegetes, are African Catholic biblical scholars. And this association has been in existence since the early 1980s. And this is the first time this Congress, it has been in all parts of Africa, every other year, but it's the first time it's coming to Ghana. And we as the church in Ghana, the Catholic Church in Ghana, are very proud to host this event. What the Congress is about is to reflect on how children have been impacted since the events of COVID-19. We do know, children's education, children's health, but even children's mental health, has been impacted. Why? Also because there have been several pressures on parents too. And sometimes we forget that at the base of the ladder are the children who at the end of the day, suffer all kinds of pressure. So we want to really home in on how all this has had an impact on children.
At the end of this week-long conference, what do you really hope? What are the key objectives that you hope to achieve at the end of it? I know that, I mean, we'll get into discussing who can attend and who cannot, but what do you hope to achieve? And let me throw that to you, Dr. Togo.
So we going back to many of these happenings where children's vulnerability have come to the forefront has not been a new phenomenon, right? Right from the biblical times, children have experienced some of these hardships, and we really want to go back into looking at how these were handled through a proper scholarly research and let that inform. So we're going to have, and I know we'll talk about that, several key decision makers in this conference. And our objective is bring out some of these reflections to inform and direct the way they guide and make policies concerning children.
So more like proper solutions to solve the problems that children in this age are going through. And a key and unique aspect of this conference is that we are highlighting on the voices of children. So it's not just a group of scholars or academics who have done a proper research, but critical points in the conference will highlight the voices of children. The opening, for instance, will have a fireside chat right after the keynote where 3 children from 3 schools are going to represent their colleagues to give their own voices, their own experiences on how their experiences have been. And then another critical aspect is on the Friday of the conference, all presentations are going to cease, and we are going to throw the spotlight on over 400 children through different engagements for them to tell us, and then use that knowledge to also inform and help us think through how we can better support them. Sounds like a beautiful way to create or draft policies that, you know, like targeted policies that would actually bring results. So over the years, I mean, this is the 21st time you're doing this. Would you say that the results or the targets has actually been achieved, Father?
Thank you very much. In fact, Sweetie, I have here in my hand the conference proceedings of the last Congress, which was held in Mauritius in 2022. It was on the Bible and creation. And this actually coincided with a very significant oil spill off the coast of Mauritius at the time. And this is what we say, that, you know, when these events happen, all stakeholders are called to the table. And our religious leaders, our biblical scholars, can actually reflect on the Bible, which is a source document, not only historically and culturally, but really can also provide solutions that really affect, you know, our existence even today. And this is what we are saying, that the Bible can be looked at both from a scientific and a religious point of view, but also can engage socio-economic reality, you know, and this is why we do these things. So yes, in the past we've dealt, I think 4 years ago, on the question of leadership in Africa. We've dealt on things like creation and ecology, and now we want to look at children.
Okay, so children are the focus now. I really like that. So let's talk about the opening, official opening of the ceremony. When is it happening? Are there any key speakers that we should be looking forward to? And, you know, just the nitty-gritty of the ceremony. You want to share with us, Doc? Okay.
Yes, so thank you. So the opening ceremony will be at Christ the King Parish, just opposite the Jubilee House.
In Cantonment.
That's right, Cantonment. On Monday, we will begin with an opening mass at 8 a.m. and then the opening ceremony will begin at 9:30. So we'd like to invite everyone to be there. The keynote speaker will be His Eminence Cardinal Peter Kojo-Appiah-Texan, who is actually one of the foremost Catholic biblical scholars in Africa.
Oh, okay.
And this event is also to coincide with his 75th anniversary, which actually was last year. And we want to honor him. So in a very special way, he will be our keynote speaker. We shall also be having the Cardinal Archbishop of Abuja, Cardinal John Onaikan, who is a well-known face on the continent. And he also will be addressing in the afternoon that session. But for instance, this is not only a men's, work. We very much want to bring to the fore the fact that there are women Catholic exegetes, and I want to underline, for instance, Sister Professor Theresa Okure from Nigeria. She is a sister of the Sisters of the Holy Child Jesus, one of the most eminent African theologians, women. And she will be addressing this conference too. So we want people to be aware of these names that are coming. I also want to mention, by all means, Father Professor Paul Berry, who is a Burkinabe professor. He works in the Pontifical Biblical Institute in Rome, but is also a member of the Pontifical Biblical Commission. These are people, once in a lifetime you get to hear them, and so we want to invite everybody to be there.
And this is just for the opening ceremony. And the rest of the program, the Congress, which is a week long, is for just the Catholic exegetes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so who can attend the opening ceremony then?
I believe the names that Father mentioned will be the key. It's open to...
As in, is it an open invitation for whoever, might be interested in listening to... okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. And especially the Catholic community, those who may be interested, who are non-Catholics, are also invited. It's taken a lot of planning, and we really want to bring these key people out there to talk about some of the pertinent issues that we are talking about. So yes, the opening ceremony is open to the public, but the rest of the week is closed.
Why though? I'm curious to know.
Well, it is a conversation first and foremost among the scholars themselves, who will then issue a communique after after that is done. But then there's actually the opportunity also to engage. For instance, we will be putting out Facebook links, YouTube links, where people can actually follow the Congress in real time. So yes, you may not be in the hall itself, but there's a way of engaging with it.
Okay, Father, I'll give you a minute or 30 seconds each to speak directly to our audience and invite them to join you for the opening ceremony. I
think I'll have Millicent begin.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is really exciting, especially for children. I work in children ministry and child formation, so the opportunity for children to directly come into contact with some of these people they pray for in bedtime prayers, come close contact with them is exciting. So especially for the Sunday schools that we've opened this to, we are really looking forward to engaging the children for this session, both on Friday, the opening, and then on Monday, when we have the opening, and then on Friday, when we have the family gathering with the two cardinals and the priests.
Okay. Father, anything you want to add to that?
Yes, I think what I'd like to say is just to thank our benefactors, who have supported us all through. We want to say a word of thanks to all of them, and also to use the opportunity once again to invite everyone to be there at Christ the King on Monday for the Mass at 8 o'clock, and also for the opening ceremony at 9:30.
Thank you. And that there's Reverend Father Dr. Michael Mensah, Lecturer, Department of Religion at the University of Ghana. And we also have Dr. Millicent Togo, the Director of Diversity and International Programs and Adjunct Lecturer at Ashesi University. Thank you so much, and I wish you the very best in the conference. Okay. Please stay with us. Still to come. But before we go, let's go off that overpriced land, home ownership and furnishing deals. You want to get the best deals for all your housing needs at one place. So visit the EcoBank Joy News Mini Fair at the Good Park near Accra Mall from the 13th September to 15th September of this year, 2024. The fair is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, and admission is absolutely free. So you should be there to engage with various stakeholders in the housing value chain for your home ownership needs. Remember, this is the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair on the theme, Get a House, Make It a Home. And the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitat, and Rent to Own, and sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meets value, safety and home solutions. You think of a door, we have it. Don't go away. I'll be right back. The Academy for Creating Enterprise is an international not-for-profit organization dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs to achieve their business aspirations. Their mission is to provide aspiring and established entrepreneurs with the education, mentorship, and community support they need to succeed in today's competitive market. To discuss this, we have our guest in the studio, the CEO, Robert Hain, and we also have Frank Ano Ekwam. He's the regional coordinator for West Africa. Welcome, gentlemen, to the program.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so briefly, tell me a bit about the Academy for Creating Enterprise. I know you told me off air that you basically provide two services, training and support. So let's elaborate on that.
Okay, the training is focused on educating people on the basic principles of business. So the very elementary principles that you need to do in order to be successful in a very small business. Now, there are two types of entrepreneurs. There is the necessity entrepreneur and there is the opportunity entrepreneur. And the necessity entrepreneur is the entrepreneur who doesn't have any income and he or she finds themselves in a position that they need to support their family. Mm-hmm. And then they go out to the streets and start doing something.
Yeah.
The biggest issue with necessity entrepreneurs is that they don't have any business education. They just do it out of the necessity. Our goal is to help those type of entrepreneurs to become successful so they can learn the basic business principles that will help them be more successful and maybe grow into a business, and maybe they will become opportunities entrepreneurs that are the type of entrepreneurs that we are more used to.
Because success as an entrepreneur is based on what you know, that's the knowledge, and how you actually apply that knowledge to be successful. So what you're doing is to provide these entrepreneurs by chance the opportunity to actually solidify the venture and make something from it.
Exactly.
Fantastic work. And this is what, 25 years in operation, but 2 years in Ghana. How has it been in Ghana so far for these 2 years? How's the response been?
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Where we start this trainings, we form groups we call chapter. Mm-hmm. So in a chapter, meet once in a month to discuss business principles. And in these business principles, they learn basic principles like how to separate yourself from your business, how to keep your business money from your personal money. And you could see people who were not keeping record in their business before, and then all of a sudden they start to keep small record of their businesses. And at least they can make informed decisions based on those records that they make. So it's been amazing.
Okay, so what are the new initiatives or programs that you have coming up in recent times? What are you doing? And do you have like an intake right now, a group that's currently undergoing training?
So currently we have 22 chapters in Africa West, 8 in Ghana and 14 in Nigeria. And we are looking at in the coming months before the year ends, we are going to have about 14 in Ghana and then 31 in Nigeria. And these are all groups that we meet them once in a month to discuss this business principle. At the Academy, we have a program where we call the Act Now program.
Act Now?
Act Now.
Act Now, okay. Okay.
This is the time you need to act.
Yeah.
Action-based principles. So in the Act Now program, we have 4 stages. And in these 4 stages, we have the Start Now, where you actually need to start something, even if you're not doing anything. And the Start Now, you develop your business, move to a stage called Grow Now, then another stage called Expand Now, and then the last stage where we call Give Now, where now you can also become a mentor, you can become a giver to your community.
So it's like a cycle. You gain something, the other person gains from you,
back.
and it goes giving back. And it's non-profit, so all these benefits are absolutely free?
It's free.
They don't pay a dime?
No.
That's great. And I see something about a 1,000th chapter celebration. What is that about, Robert?
Well, we are in right now, up to last month, 17 different countries. So in these 17 countries, we have 1,000 chapters, and it happens to be that the 1,000 chapter is here in Accra.
Okay.
And we're going to celebrate the creation of the 1,000 chapter here.
And that's
in
what
Accra.
you're seeing on your screen now.
Yeah. And
What's the significance of this, reaching this milestone?
well, it's very significant in the part that we have groups that are meeting every month. The majority of these groups, they meet monthly. Almost 92% of them, they meet every month. And we have close to 32,000 people that attend these meetings every month. And these are business and small entrepreneurs, business people who wants to improve their business. So they come to this meeting and they help each other. There's a peer-to-peer support system where they help each other. There is a networking. They start learning about other people's businesses. They start doing businesses among themselves. And also is a way that they have a continual education. So they keep learning more about these business principles that we discussed. That we resume these business principles in what we call the 25 rules of thumb. These are 25 very basic business principles that we tell people this is the basic things that you need to do in order to be successful.
Like entrepreneurship 101, huh?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So for those watching us who might be interested, how can they onboard? How can they register or join the academy?
Okay, so to add to the 1,000 chapter celebration, it's going to happen at the Tesano Stake Center.
There's a celebration?
Yes, a
celebration. Okay, so there's an activity, an event to mark that 1,000, right. Tell us about it.
Yeah, and prior to that celebration, is going to be a business expo, where these small businesses are going to exhibit what they've been doing for all this while. What are the successes? And then people can get to know what they are doing and then we can portray them.
Oh, okay.
So the business expo will start from 12 to 3 p.m. Then the celebration continues from 4 to 6 p.m. And we're going to have all the other areas join virtually as well to celebrate this 1,000 chapter.
Okay.
It's been...
And so now those interested, how can they come on board?
So...
should they come to the expo?
We are inviting them to the expo.
Okay, right.
And also we have chapters already in Accra.
Okay.
And we have chapter leadership in those places. We have one in Kaneshi, so those in that enclave can join. They meet at Kaneshi First Light at the meeting house of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
So that's where we meet. Those in Kaneshi meet last Saturday of every month. And then those around Odoko area also meet at Sakama Chapel and second Thursday of every month. So we have all those ones. When they come, we'll talk more about it.
Okay.
Another way that they can contact us is we have a Facebook page.
Okay.
So if you look in Facebook for Academy for Creating Enterprise West Africa, they can go there and they can send us a message.
Right.
There's also a web page for the Academy, and also they can message us, and we will get in contact with them and maybe try to find the closest chapter that they can attend.
Yes, so that they can be part of the program.
Yeah.
And so it's the Academy for Creating Enterprise everywhere on social media, on Facebook and all that. So I'll give you 30 seconds each to talk directly to our audience, inviting them to the expo. I'll start with you, Robert.
Okay, so this is a big celebration for us. We have said we're going to have business expos. Many of the people who have started with the Academy and now have their small business, they're going to bring their products, they're going to bring their services, and they're going to show it to other people. It's a great opportunity to come and support these small businesses and help them in their process of developing their business. And also there's going to be a celebration, there's going to be presentations, there's going to be business presentations of some speakers.
Okay.
And also a great celebration. You can add to that.
Frank, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think people should come and see what small businesses are doing, what is happening that they might not be aware of. And we invite them, especially the business expo, wherever, just pass by to see what people are learning, basic business principles, and the differences that it's making in their lives. The Academy I have learned a lot. I'm a small business as well, and I apply these principles in my business, and I can see few successes that
your life is transformed, huh?
Yeah. So
right.
It's
it works. So you should come to the expo and experience it for yourself. Thank you so much, Robert Hain, that's the CEO of the Academy for Creating Enterprise, and Frank Ano-Ekwam is the regional coordinator for the West African chapter. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Now, before we go, mark your calendars for the University of Ghana 2024 Alumni Lecture on Thursday, 19th September 2024. It's happening at 5 p.m. sharp. The event will be held at the Great Hall at the University of Ghana. And this year's lecture, titled 30 Years of Parliamentary Democracy, The Journey So Far. And it will be delivered by none other than the Right Honorable Agban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin, that's the Speaker of Parliament. So you want to join us for this thought-provoking event as we explore the evolution of parliamentary democracy. You don't want to miss it. Don't go away yet. Roverman presents, I always hear that and I think I will do it one day. I want to feed you an Ebo White play. In the studio with me to discuss this is Kenneth Saki. He's media representative for Roverman Productions. I want to feed you. You want to feed me, Kenneth?
Yeah, I do. Depends on what you want to eat.
Kenki. Keshito.
Oh, no problem.
No problem now. And you're taking it to the streets this time.
Yes.
Tell me about I Want to Feed You.
So I Want to Feed You is actually the 58th play of Uncle Ebo White in 16 years. On 6 September 2008, he promised a quarterly play for Ghanaians every quarter, literally. Yeah. 16 years down the line, 58 plays, that is no
small feat.
No, it's huge. And this time around, we are doing the play called I Want to Feed You. I Want to Feed You literally takes a chunk of the streets, more like the ghetto, more like, goes into the streets. So take a chunk of Jamestown. Streets,
the way they say
the streets. So take a chunk of Jamestown, you understand? And Jamestown, because Uncle Ebo is called James Ebo White, so Jamestown. So it's not Jamestown, it's Jamestown.
Okay, James.
Yeah, and then on the streets where it's called Ayeng Street. Now, if you understand, Ayeng means white. So on Ayeng Street, inside Jamestown, there's a lot of things happening in there. There's madness, there's chaos, there's everything you can find on a typical street, but then there's also love. There's a play I called Organized Madness, where everything and anything some is happening, but in the middle of it, there's a beautiful love story growing. And you come and you're seeing a lot of beautiful things, color, dance, everything, very colorful stuff. But then again, you're following a very beautiful love story. And it's catching your attention, and you never know how come 2 hours flew by so quickly. And
it's an Ebo White play.
You
can never go wrong with that.
You can never go wrong with that.
And I've had the chance to see the setup, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's like taking theater out of the theater to the street. And I like it.
Literally.
So when is it starting? How many days is it showing for? How much is the ticket? Give us the details.
Well, we're actually starting tonight, 6 September. Today is our anniversary day, 16 years down the line. 6 September tonight at 7 p.m., National Theatre, curtains go up. And when we say 7 p.m. on the dot, the play starts. And then we have another show tomorrow, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have a 1 p.m., 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. So you don't have an excuse to miss any of the shows.
Yeah.
Then we do the same thing next weekend. So there's this weekend and then there's next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Fridays, 7 p.m., Saturdays, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m., 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets are selling for 200 Ghana cedis. Only.
Yeah.
But then again, we've decided to create a certain Roverman community where we are giving you discounts upon discounts and freebies upon freebies. So what we are doing is that we have an app called the Rover app. So you just pick your phone, whether you're using an Android or iOS, download the Rover app, go to any of the stores, the Blue Store, the Google Store, Blue Store, whatever store that where you download your apps from. Download the Rover app, register, buy a loyalty card for 50 Ghana cedis, and all your tickets, you never pay full price for any of your tickets again. So even with this one, you're paying like, keep downloading right now. So even for this one, you're paying 150 if you're already on the app and you're on the loyalty card. And you can buy as many tickets as you want. And the app is, the card is such that you can also use it if we have like partner vendors. You can also use it to go there and get discounts. So
it's like a discount card.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, so you go to your favorite
and for 50
spa.
cedis only. Okay.
So then you get your discounts. And also for students who may want to watch it but may not be able to afford the 200 cedis at this point. Sunday 1 p.m. we're giving you half price.
I think I'll come on Sunday.
CTS smart girl.
I'll come on Sunday for half price. No, I'll come tonight. I'll be there tonight.
What we are saying is that we are making it open and there'll be something for everyone actually. So if you're a student, you can come on Sunday 1 p.m. So just download the app, look for the student tickets on Sunday 1 p.m. show. Come and watch it at half the price. But you
if you're not, if you are rich like me, you don't want discounts, so you can just use the short code,
actually,
right?
Star 365 star 535 hash, and then you get tickets. Actually, you see, if you look at the quality that we are giving you, and the 200 cedis, Charlie, 200 cedis, it's not should that be a EBR like that. Considering the fact that it comes every quarter. Think about it.
Charlie, the economy is hard. Go and distress. Watch something beautiful, you know.
Exactly.
Release the tension from the week.
And if you are familiar with how as you mentioned, the streets work, you know, it's a big community where there's a lot of love, tough love, rough love, actually. There's a scene where, okay, let me give you a little bit of an apple. There's a scene where a lady shouting from backstage, thief, 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 thief. I've been robbed. Say what? Say bag. It's 15,000. The person who robbed there was actually a disabled person sitting there, right there, and he had a bag in his shirt. And she was, I've been robbed, thief, thief. I said, how much is it? Bag is what, $5,000. He has $13,000 inside. The guy was like, And there's somebody who's disabled. He said, what are you saying? The way she kept going, he got up and said, Madam, shut up. He removed the bag and said, hey, does this look like?
On that note, Kenneth, we have to go. So yes, please, you have to go and experience this for yourself. I want to feed you an Ebo White play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This one, and then next one, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tonight is 7 p.m. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. And on Sunday, 1 p.m., 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Don't miss it. Kenneth, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And I'll see you tonight.
Sure.
Hello, Ghana. Right before I go, a reminder that your favorite radio stations are back on TuneIn. I'm talking about Joy FM, Love FM, Adom FM, and Asempa FM, and Insura FM. All your beloved multimedia group brands are back on TuneIn. Wherever you are, we've got you covered. So, Joy FM, Love FM, Adom FM, Asempa FM, and Insura FM are back on TuneIn. So, tune in to the best of news, music, sports, and entertainment from Ghana's top stations. Anytime, anywhere on TuneIn. So go to the App Store, Google Play Store, or the Blue Store, like Kenneth said, and download TuneIn and listen to Joy FM, Love FM, Adom FM, Asempa FM, or Insura FM to stay connected and entertained. My name is Sweetie Abochi, and it was my absolute pleasure to host the AM show for you this week, and that's our show for the rest of the week. Joy News Desk is up next with Faustina Safo. Bye!